A bushel 56, okay, I was like, okay.
Usually, we used to use 50 buckets and basically make a bushel when we sold it.
How are you? Not too bad. You can't complain.
I don't know much about the serious part. I just don't want to count those cows around.
So it does work.
Hey, somebody's got to do it right there.
Yeah, every once in a while, especially this time of year, they have deer corn, but I don't know why they have deer corn, so we're just take her out of that.
That's not
How are you?
Come on.
How are you doing? Yeah, they are.
Don't worry. I will. I'll try to do it.
Hey, man. But you ain't getting it yet. You ain't getting it just yet. Here you go.
Sorry about that. Oh, you can carry that. Well, working on it.
Brittany worked on it.
But if you know enough where you go, I was, you know, in a lifetime.
I drove around 2 or 3 days. I'm on the backside of it.
Going downhill slide.
Yeah.
Needs to add to it.
Oh, yeah, lower the shit, because the shit we got going on there ain't crazy.
Yeah, we don't have to.
And today he had, I told him apples to apples, and they quoted doing a 30 by 40 pad out front too.
I saw them the same.
So, he was telling me that, that's like 2 years.
Are you hoping I'm
There's another one that's 102,000, but I didn't get it in the package.
Me and Doug printed this.
Hey, is this Will's line?
Yeah,
Huh?
Is this Will's line?
it is.
We're gonna make this again.
You mean we named it Will's line and you printed it out for Jim?
What's it say?
He probably forgot about Will's.
Where's it at?
It ain't on
I
it.
ain't even read it.
A long time ago, we said it was supposed to be called Will's one.
I got you. These replace the ones in the book.
And we can still.
I'll let Doug. Yes. Yes. I'll let Doug. Whenever we get to the
So
bill.
that's still in there.
We still, if I've got a transfer, might leave it, that's still in the article.
Okay, Doug says that'll replace the consent book. Because it has some. We will discuss it. Here's one for Doug.
Well, what's got more pages, the packet that's emailed to me, or the packet, or all this stuff that's got?
Y'all good on water? Doug, you need water? Zach, you need water?
Doug said he's driving, he's gonna hold off on the water.
Here, Jason.
Here, one page.
Y'all see Julie yet?
I saw her.
Oh,
Yeah,
there
she
she
is.
is. You okay? Okay.
I am now.
Okay.
Last week it's questionable.
Okay. I want to tell the audience, I failed to print agendas. If you all need agendas, we can get agendas printed right now. One person says yes, we'll get agendas printed. All right, I failed to
And I'll put you in the spot.
have them by the door. Anyway,
That's all in the work.
what's that?
How bad they all need to work.
Oh, well, I was gonna get Julie to do it. Cause she's got a print.
Now I know they wanted to
She's
work.
got a print.
That's what it was.
All right, anyway, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order at November 20th. It's a time to be happy with the family that we have. Let's remember the family that we've lost. We have blessings every day. Kicking off Thanksgiving week, we should all celebrate and be happy that we are so blessed with what we have. As bad as we feel any time, like if you've ever been, I know you've all been at the hospital, but usually, as bad as we feel any time, there's an individual that might be having a harder time than we are, or someone else. But anyway, so let's remember our neighbors. Let's remember folks that have needs. Again, we are all so blessed to live in a country where we live that we can join together without concerns of places like other places in the world. You turn on the news, it's every day, you all know, but we have lots to celebrate. So again, tonight, November 20th, welcome everyone here. And Mike, if you would you open in a word of prayer, please?
Lord, thank you for this day that you've given us. Lord, we thank you for the rain that we're hopefully going to get this evening that we so greatly need. And Lord, as we approach the Thanksgiving season, we just ask that you pour out your blessings on this community and all the families and friends that are contained within. And Lord, we just pray for this country and this county and this world that we live in, that peace comes across all nations, and especially in the nation of Israel today. And Lord, we just ask that as we go into this Thanksgiving season, that we all put aside our differences and embrace one another and take stock of the things that we have. And even though that we're all fighting hardships and troubles, that we can find something to be thankful for in our lives. And Lord, we pray for those who have lost loved ones here recently, especially the Oaks family. We ask that you wrap your arms around them and give them comfort and guidance in this time of tribulation and need. And Lord, anybody that is hurting physically, you are the great physician. Lay your hand upon them and give them healing and comfort in their time of need. Lord, be with us tonight as we discuss the business of the county. Give us wisdom and direct us in all things. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. If you would, join me in the salute to our flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, Madam Secretary, if you would, call roll, please.
I'm just trying to figure out all what.
Me too, Lynn.
Hey, I'm with
But we'll get there.
Okay,
We'll all get there together.
all right. Squire Stump,
Here.
Squire Ferris,
Here.
Squire Eldridge,
Here.
Judge Travis,
Here.
Squire Travis,
Here.
Squire Cotton.
Here. All right, we're all here. Thank you for that. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. I went all the way through them tonight, and there's still a whole lot of discussion that probably doesn't need to be in the minutes, but I didn't have any changes that I wrote down or deletions to the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes as they are stated.
Second. All right, we have a motion by Jim, seconded by Zach, to approve the minutes as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes.
Just be it noted that I didn't vote because I wasn't here.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike, I didn't hear you. Yeah, please note that Mike, was not voting because he was absent. You okay to, she records it that way? All right. Looking for the signature page. Somewhere. Right here. Yes, 23. All right, there you go. Thank you for that. All right, first up, let's see, communications with Judge Executive. Appreciate Mike mentioning the Oak family. Curtis worked for the county for 20 years. He started on the, it kind of funny or odd or whatever, coincidental, but November 17th, 2003, he started, I guess, Julie, working in your office. And I know he did solid waste, so forth, but any of you all that have lived in the county very long, or it may be even a short time, when you purchased your property, you may have seen a surveyor's name of Curtis Oaks. And he and his father both, I never knew his father, but he and his father both surveyed for, I guess, since maybe the 40s, 50s, I would guess. Jim, what do you think? That's the problem. So, but anyhow, and I hope maybe in the future, as we build things and do things, we may attach his name to something down the road. I've got on here the land purchase update. We closed on that property Tuesday. So now it belongs to Spencer County, not to the fiscal court. Our name's on the deed, but it belongs to the county of Spencer. So we can proceed with all plans associated, Jim, with the pavilion, farmer's market, whatever we want to call it. I spoke with Mr. Sweezy right after we closed about the getting property to put a road in. He is still all in for, if we're interested in him deeding us the property and us constructing a road up across what he gives us. Now, he don't have it all platted just yet, but I mean, when we had our last meeting, everyone seemed on board with going ahead and pursuing that. But anyhow, I don't want to throw all that out to you. And what he would do is he would present, Corey, this would be with you. He has to add to the plat that's already there that little bit, make it a little longer. And he was going to get that together. And his idea was that he deed that to the county, and then the county construct a road across it up to county specs, and then we would maintain it, and that would be an even trade. That he would deed the property to us at no cost. Now, I did not agree that we're going to do that. I agreed to tell you guys his proposal. So, and anyway, you know, I went ahead and said to run this by your attorney, and I'd run it by our attorney, and then we can choose what we decide to do. So if you guys want to pursue that, we'll go that direction.
Does Corey have any concerns right now?
So where's the road actually going? Is it going back to further back in there?
Yeah, well,
It'll
it'll come out between what Country Mart has and what Beehive has. It'll go across there and then go, of course, that's, Mr. Sweezy kept that 80 feet. And then it would go, of course, he has the rest of his farm. And then he would give that area to the county, the deed, and then we would construct a road up to county specs that would serve our property. Of course, then it being a county road, the rest of the property could utilize it. And as long as that's all good, that's what I say. I didn't say, yeah, we'll do it. We gotta, I think.
We'll explore it.
Yeah.
We'll talk with Mr. Sweezy and his
Okay.
council. If
Right.
there's any issues, we'll let you know.
All right, everyone good with proceeding in that direction?
Do we need a motion to do that, or just?
You're back to Corey.
All right, and we'll get back with you, and I'll tell, I guess, he'll have the same attorney that he had that prepared the deed for us.
I would say get his attorney, get with our attorney, and let's do
Yeah.
make sure it's good, and then we come back.
Right. But anyway, if everyone's in agreement to keep pursuing that, I will contact him and say that we didn't have any objections
It's a no-brainer.
to pursue that, so. The courthouse roof is done. We got up on the roof, Brandy and I got up, looked it over, before we issued a check for the remaining balance. And there was a couple little issues that I didn't like, Randy didn't like, so I got Will and I got up there the other day. And so we called the guy on the phone, and when we traded with him, we got a 5-year contract, or 5-year warranty. And this place, I felt it should have had some subfloor under it, I guess, subroof under it. And but anyhow, that guy said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you another 5-year warranty, and it'll be fine. If you have a problem in 10 years, I'll come fix it. So we agreed that was fine. So we cut him a check. But now we got a 10-year warranty. So,
Do we have that in writing?
It may be
Yes.
as good as that 5-year warranty too.
well, it's in writing. So we got, yes.
Is that company still gonna be in business 10 years from now? That's
I-
all
I
that
agree.
is good for.
The place that I had question about,
It's a transition in the roof from 2 different levels, and you would think there would be something at 45, and it's just a straight 90, and that rubber stretches across the 2 surfaces.
about the distance about yay far.
How long?
Maybe this
Yeah,
This
4 foot,
long.
maybe it's low.
And he wouldn't come back and fix that.
He said he would, but he would either come back and fix it, or extend our warranty 5 years.
So we got, and what they were gonna do was pop a hole in it and spray foam under it.
Whatever you all decide.
So we told him, of course, he was there wanting his check. And he said left without a check the first day, but he came back the next day and we paid him. But I want to tell you about that. Of course, they came, took the fences down. Health insurance, Doug wanted me to include that, where we did that $1,200 change. You have only until the end of this month, right, Doug?
At the November 30th, you have to make a change if you want to make a change, and that's for any employee that's working with your open enrollment. Now, new hires, it'll go forward anyway, but any employee that's working currently went through this open enrollment process. I think that's what Corey was concerned about, making sure we stay legal with all employees have a chance to make a change.
Basically, what we did, we were paying $800. If you took a family plan, you could get $800. If you took a single plan, you could get $800. We wanted to raise the other than single to $1,200. We voted to do that, but we had to check on the legality of it. And the legality of it is with the insurance company, to do it, you have to offer it to everyone. So if you had a single plan and you wanted to update to the other than single plan, you can't until the end of this month. Of course, now next year, unless we change it or go to something else, you'll have that ability again. But we're really working hard to keep our employees, to get what our employees potentially need. And I hope everybody sees that we're really putting effort into it. So if anyone needs to make a change, remember that's the end of the month. Holiday office schedule, of course, we're going to be closed Thursday and Friday this week. And I have on here about the, and Lynn may want to address it. She and I spoke about it the other day. They're going to change the, I was at a training Wednesday. Dan, I was there one morning.
I saw you left some trinkets on.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I didn't see Dan.
Yes.
I guess you got to prove you was there. 'Cause I know I was, no, I'm kidding. But anyway,
I got my vest, so I know I was there.
all right. Anyway, there was a lady, a county clerk from Grant County said that she got up and she said, you guys need to tell in your fiscal court meetings that there's going to be some software changes, equipment changes in the clerk's office. And after the first of the year, there could be some days that close. So some documentation, I haven't read this, came out today. And I don't know, Lynn, if you have anything you want to add to that?
The only thing I can tell you for certain is we will be closed the first week of January, January 1, 2, 3, and 4. starting January 8th, which is a Monday, they're gonna start bringing counties on board. January 8th, there's some counties that have volunteered to go first. I have asked to be put back on board January 9th.
Okay. So basically, the message is to the county, if you have any documentation that you need to get done, depending on calendar year, of course, you need to get it done before the end of December. If you gotta do it in the first of the year, it won't be initially right away, but it will be. And the reason is they're doing some changes and upgrades.
And our office won't be closed entirely. Motor vehicle transactions we will be unable to do. We will be open for land records and for elections.
Okay, good deal. Thank you for that information. That's what I wanted the community to know. Next, and I have this under communications, but I guess we actually need to vote on this tonight. In January, of course, January 1st, I think on Monday is New Year's, right? We're closed. So that'd be our normal meeting day. So I just, we'll need to call, I want to ask you all, I don't guess we have to vote on it, because I'll be calling a special meeting. The first meeting of January will be a special call meeting, because we're not going to meet that Monday.
You're gonna start out 2024 with a special call?
Heck, yeah. Why not?
He came in there.
So,
I think according to the administrative code and all, when we don't meet on the holiday on Monday, we go to Wednesday. But if you want to change the Wednesday to
Okay.
a different day, you may need to vote on it.
right, and you are correct, Doug. Thank you for that reminder. Anyway, what I need to ask you guys is that where Monday is a holiday, and then if we had a meeting on Wednesday, it'll hustle us. I don't think we can get the packets out, so I wanted to bump it up a day. So like Thursday the 4th, we can have a morning meeting. We can't have a morning meeting on Friday the 5th because Corey has court. If we have a meeting on Friday, it'd have to be a night meeting. And I know you all want to celebrate the first Friday in the new year.
Thursday morning's fine with me.
I'm fine Thursday morning.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to have our first meeting in January on the morning of Thursday the 4th.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Mike, seconded by Zach, that our first meeting in January will be the morning of Thursday the 4th. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Another thing I want to start in January is that any of our department heads, and a lot of them are in here tonight, but any department heads that we have that have information in our agenda packets that we need to discuss, sometimes they're very lengthy, as tonight, that we'll have those on our morning meetings where the department heads can come and discuss. If we have them on night meetings, that takes away from their time off. Really, if we requested them to be here, we need to pay them to be here because they can't be here for free. So I'm going to start that the very first of the year. I mean, I could start at any time, but I'm just going to try to, we're starting a new year. We'll try to have a different way of representing things. Of course, tonight, I know Nick has some stuff on the agenda, and there he is. So glad he's here for that. Okay, communications from citizens. Anyone in the audience like to address us? Arnie, you're up.
I don't have enough kids in here for this, so I'll leave that.
Okay.
Maybe-
About after midnight, we might need to pass that around. That's bad. Yeah.
Is it gonna go that long?
Oh,
Main reason I came, just kind of with the new members, I've been a little reticent as far as getting around here. I'm Arnie Miller, and I'm the head of the Felix Stitker Foundation, along with Bonnie, our secretary is here. And I wanted to come in and just talk to you a little bit. We're, and if any of you haven't seen it, we have taken down the cabin. So if you had a chance to drive by over there, the chimney is still standing because there's no way we could take that down and rebuild it. So we're at a crossroads now. We gotta start to put things together. I'm trying to get somebody to give me a quote, put the footings in. That'll be the next thing. As you know, the old cabin had nothing but stone, and it was set logs on stone. It was, but it lasted 200 years, you know, who can complain? But anyway, when we rebuild it, will be a 3-foot concrete foundation under the whole cabin. So it should be, if this lasted 200 years, we're good. That, and also, I've been talking to the fiscal judge, and we're looking for more money naturally. This first part will be a small, I think I can get a smaller grant written to just do the footings. So that, you know, if you can work it in a little bit and a little bit, but after that is gonna come the rebuilding of the cabin. And there won't be no such thing as, you know, we're gonna do this little bit and then we're gonna let it stand and then do this. My feeling is we should go ahead and get a grant sizable enough to handle that. And if you ask me what that would be, I know I had one a couple of years ago, but that was, I mean, if I tell you something's worth something 5 years ago, forget it. Anyway, we're gonna need a large grant, and that's kind of why I came to visit. We will need help from places other than grants, and I'm just gonna ask you to think about what you can do for us when we do. We're not ready to start this grant yet. We've got to get people that are willing to write one. The size, you've got to have 3 quotes on it in order to get some money out of these people. And then they expect you also to have extra help besides it. We have some dollars in the bank, but it isn't going to pay for that remodeling, rebuilding the whole cabin. The one quote I had, that was a couple of years ago, was like $360,000 to do the whole thing, and it would be first class, you know. It would look like it did 200 years ago. So that's one of the reasons I came, and I don't know if any of you have spent any time. If you have a chance, go to I gave you out the cards to our website and look at that, and you'll get an idea of what we're doing now and where we should end up. We do have a mock-up, not a mock-up, but a picture of what it should look like after it's done. And it gives you a little feeling of what we're doing. The other thing is, the other day, I'm a member of the American Battlefield Trust also, because it's a very informational organization out of Washington, D.C., that all they do is go around and help any battlefield. They are the Battlefield Trust. We are not a battlefield, so we're separate from that. But I really enjoy, I get I think it's about every 3 months, a magazine. And the last one I got, if I could bear with me, I'll read you a quick paragraph. At the American Battlefield Trust, we like to say that we're in the forever business. By that I mean we recognize how we have been entrusted with these hallowed grounds by previous generations. And we believe it is our responsibility to preserve, protect, and defend them, adding to them as we can, and then passing them whole and intact to future generations. And if we do that, we have performed our solemn duty. And that's the way we and our board feel. You know, this thing was almost burned down at one time when nobody knew what the cabin was. They just said, well, we're gonna burn it down. That's why there was that big cross on it. We're gonna get rid of this. But we had some people that were forward-looking in the city that said, wait a minute, let's find out more about it. And they did some looking, and Joe Bowen was one of the prime drivers on it. And they found out that, hey, this guy that was born in this house was the top spy during the Civil War. And when he finished his job, 100 people were arrested because they were trying to start a civil war in Illinois, upper Indiana, Illinois, and he stopped that, one man. So if he isn't worth a little bit of attention, and like it says in here, And if we do that, we have performed a solemn duty. And that's the way I feel and our board feels as far as fixing this cabin up and giving it. And it'll be a draw. Civil War facts and
I know Miss Downs, I watched some of those YouTube shows that y'all did up at like Wakefield, and I know Davis Lee and you were both in. Is there a YouTube show about the
yeah.
house? Okay.
Yeah, I did the narrative with, that was, what did they call that?
Tree nuts?
Tree nuts, yeah.
Something like that,
He
yeah.
was a nut, but he was very, very thorough. And it's on our website, that's on the card, and you'd really enjoy seeing that. It'd give you another, it's another angle of looking at it.
You know, and as we prepare for our bicentennial, I challenge you this Thursday night when you pull turkey, watch YouTube and look at some of the Spencer County history that's on there.
There's a
It's
lot,
interesting.
yeah.
All right.
There's so much history in this area, and we need to preserve it all.
Yeah, I thank you for your dedication, Arnie, all these years working on it. I tell you, Arnie, don't give up. So,
Well,
thank
as
you.
long as he lets me around.
Yeah, amen. All right, good deal. Any other citizen like to address us? All right, thank you. We'll move ahead. Julie, you're up. Julie has a lot of stuff.
Under the budget. So with that, I'm gonna ask a question with what you said a minute ago. So I know I provide you all with a lot of documents. So do you not want me to do night meetings?
No, well, I wasn't fine to you.
Okay, well, I just wanted to make, I wanted
Because,
to, you know.
well, and I
clarify.
apologize for that. I apologize for that because I would say with yours, we need to continue as is. Otherwise, the public will be waiting maybe
Right,
too
well,
long.
you all are on a time frame. You
Yes,
know, the clock is ticking on my stuff, but
correct.
like I said, I wanted to make sure,
Yeah.
so.
But, you know, obviously, you know, you're here, it's after hours, so thank you for continuing your work.
Okay, thank you. All right, I have two first readings. We'll do those first just to get through them. The first is the application of Robert Willett requesting Ag 1 agricultural to Ag 2 agricultural on Tract 1 consisting of 6.80 acres and Ag 1 agricultural to R1 residential on Tract 2 consisting of 1.07 acres located at 1815 Poststrasser Road. Commissioner Mudd made the motion to recommend to rezone the application of Robert Willett for the zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to Ag 2 agricultural on Tract 1 consisting of 6.80 acres and Ag 1 agricultural to R1 residential on Tract 2 consisting of 1.07 acres located at 1815 Poststrasser Road. The recommended land use map in the comprehensive plan recommends medium density residential. The change would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan. There was no one present to speak against it. Commissioner Fowl seconded that motion. After a roll call vote, motion carried. Questions? Next, I have the application of William and Linda Middleton requesting Ag 1 agricultural to R3 residential on 1.116 acres located at 1298 Drake Ridge Road. Commissioner Wheatley made the motion to recommend to rezone the application of William and Linda Middleton requesting zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to R3 residential on 1.116 acres located at 1298 Drake Ridge Road. The recommended land use map and comprehensive plan recommends medium density residential. The change would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan, and there will be a binding element of only one residence on this tract. There was no one there present to speak against it. Commissioner Mudd seconded that motion, and after a roll call vote, motion carried. Any questions on those? These are all second readings. So I have the application of Denise L. Stillwell requesting Ag 1 agricultural to Ag 2 agricultural on 6.34 acres located at 538 Dryden Road. Commissioner Mudd made the motion to recommend to rezone the application of Denise L. Stillwell requesting zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to Ag 2 agricultural on 6.34 acres located at 538 Dryden Road. The recommended land use map of the comprehensive plan recommends low density residential. The change would be in compliance with comprehensive plan, and there was no one there present to speak against it. Commissioner Brown seconded that motion. After roll call vote, motion carried.
Motion to approve based on the facts and findings of the Planning and Zoning Commission.
All right, is there a second? We have a motion by Zach, seconded by Will, to approve the recommendation from Planning and Zoning on the property that was just read, the Stillwell property. Any discussion? Based on the facts and findings of the Planning and Zoning. All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes.
Next, I have the application of Richard L. Lott requesting Ag 1 agricultural to Ag 2 agricultural on 9.77 acres located at 416 Dryden Road. Commissioner Fowl made a motion to recommend to rezone the application of Richard L. Lott requesting zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to Ag 2 agricultural on 9.77 acres located at 416 Dryden Road. The recommended land use map and comprehensive plan recommends low density residential. The change would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan, and there was no one there present to speak against it. Attorney Dale added some conditions for Mr. Lott of finding his survey plat that has been provided to me. So just wanted to make a note of that. Chairman Deacon called for a second. That was made by Commissioner Mudd. After roll call vote, motion carried.
Motion to approve based on the facts and findings of the Planning and Zoning Commission.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, have a motion by Zach, seconded by Will, to approve the zoning on the lot property based on the facts and findings of Planning and Zoning. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, Julie.
At the application of Paul and Cheryl Whitehead for Robert and Kelly Zeller, requesting Ag 1 agricultural to R1 residential on 0.779 acres, shown as Lot 92B. This is to be consolidated with Lot 92A, therefore creating Lot 92C totaling 2.223 acres, located at 128 Harper's Cove. Commissioner Hunt made the motion to recommend to rezone the application of Paul and Cheryl Whitehead for Robert and Kelly Zeller, requesting zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to R1 residential on 0.779 acres, shown as Lot 92B, to be consolidated with Lot 92A, therefore creating Lot 92C, totaling 2.223 acres, located at 129 Parker's Cove. The recommended land use map and the comprehensive plan recommends medium density residential. The change would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan, and there was no one there present to speak against it. Commissioner Fowl seconded that motion. After roll call vote, motion carried.
Make a motion to approve the zone change as recommended based on the facts and findings of the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Jim, seconded by Zach, to approve the zoning change for the Zeller property, the application of the Whiteheads for the property here based on the facts and findings of Planning and Zoning. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. And this is our last one. We have the application of Ronald L. and Norina Joe Booth, requesting Ag 1 agricultural R3 residential on 4.017 acres located at 931 Old Louisville Road. Commissioner Brown made a motion to recommend to rezone the application of Ronald L. and Norina Joe Booth, requesting zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to R3 residential on 4.017 acres located at 931 Old Louisville Road. There will be a binding element of no more than 2 single-family dwellings on this 4.017 acre tract of land. The recommended land use map and the comprehensive plan recommends low-density residential. The change would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan. There was one person there that spoke that had concerns with the mobile home park being allowed there, so therefore, that's where the binding element came from. That motion was seconded by Commissioner Fowl. After roll call vote, motion carried with Commissioner Travis giving a no vote.
Motion to approve based on the facts and findings of the Planning and Zoning Commission.
All right. We have a motion by Zach, seconded by Mike, to approve the property, the Booth property listed here based on the facts and findings of Planning and Zoning for the zoning change. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes.
Okay,
right,
one more request on this one with Mr. Booth. I don't know if you followed that in the minutes, but he originally made an application to go to a commercial zoning, and after the first meeting, we explained to him that that didn't fall in the comprehensive plan and how that would be spot zoning, and he agreed to lower his request to a residential zone. With that, I told him I would ask the court if they would consider changing his fee and reimbursing him. Our commercial fee is $750. A residential fee is $350. So I told him I would ask if the court would consider reimbursing him the difference of the $400.
As long as that's legal, I'll make a motion to reimburse the Booth, Mr. Booth, for the difference in the zoning. Yeah. All right, motion by myself, second, Zach, to approve the reimbursement of the difference of the zoning for the booths.
Discussion.
What's that? Yeah, discussion.
Did he know going in, that there was possibility that he wouldn't get the commercial zone?
Well, I mean, it was a junkyard at one time, so.
Right, I mean, that was the whole reason we went on and brought
Yeah,
it
you said
in.
junkyard, so I
Yeah.
mean, I would have thought they could have got, I would have thought you'd been a commercial.
You would have thought.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I had.
And the thing is, when somebody comes in for a zoning change, I can advise them, but I can't tell them for sure how the commission's gonna vote.
Yeah.
You know, so I can say, I'm not sure that this will work, but we'll give it a try. And that's all I can do.
I mean, it seems to me it's only fair to try to work with folks.
Well, I think a junkyard would be zone commercial stuff.
It was grandfathered in, but what happened is, well, non-conforming, let me get my terminology here. So it was non-conforming because it was there before zoning went into effect, but it's been cleaned up for over a year, so it lost its non-conformity, is what happened. So, okay.
All right,
Is that okay to do it that way?
Yeah.
Okay.
all right, so we still got to vote, right?
Yeah.
All right, any more discussion on the motion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes.
I think that's all I have.
I think that'll be good. One quick thing, the lookout, Zach and I have discussed this a little bit, I want to just tell the court. The lookout, which is just right up the road from this property, over at Riverview Baptist Church. Of course, that used to be a U.S. highway. Julie did some research on it. Senator Higdon called me and said, you know, what's the chance of us maybe cleaning that up? Because I guess people have been asking him about it. And Julie did a bunch of research. It's history, so it's very, she said it's very interesting. Built in the late 30s. I think it was like a depression type program. When they built it, Julie said they had plans on how to plant trees and things under it. I haven't seen that, this is what she was telling me. And so, of course, now it's a state road. And I know two individuals, they had plaques in the wall, I guess. I know where they had accidents and passed away. There's a little bit of damage on it right now. I did talk to the landowner about it, and I said, you know, hey, come with some sort of proposal, and we'll look about getting together about keeping it cleared off. So I haven't heard back from him, but I just want to tell the court that that's another thing that I'm inquiring about, that we may be addressing in the future. What, some kind of deal.
Hopefully we can get the state involved at some level of it, and get it cleaned up.
Yeah. And I mean, it wouldn't take a lot of effort. You need to go some bushes over. It was cleared off several years ago. So most of the growth is pretty small. And, you know, it'd be, if you do clean it off, it would need to be probably sold to fescue, and somehow, they say it's not too steep to mow, but that's iffy. We'll have to see, but.
I went down there and got on the other night, it's steep.
Oh yeah? On foot?
Yeah, I got on foot and steep.
You have to crawl on all fours?
I thought about it, I'm gonna have to. Put it four-wheel
Pretty
drive.
So-
But I will clarify one thing you said, you was gonna talk to the landowner
Yes.
about, you know, what we can do with it, but the actual pull off, the overlook area is really, it's on the road plan, so that is
Yes.
right away.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're not really improving somebody else's property, I just want to
No.
make it clear.
Well,
That it is
Who owns
right
the
away.
property down below?
this fella,
Well,
not the
it
state.
ends up on that man's property because it falls,
Yeah, where the trees that obstruct the site is on this man's property.
Right, yeah.
But of course, the fence is on the
Everything
state.
that's on the state is clean, but what's obstructing the view is on somebody else's property, that's where we have got the issue.
So we need to get permission from him to do anything.
Correct, and he was game about doing it, but he said his words were ponder, He would look at, think about what he would do. I got his number. I'll get back with him. I'll keep you all posted. But I just want to share it with you. Lots going on. All right.
They ain't costing anybody yet, we're good.
And we keep it this way.
Anyway, now we're going, thank you, Julie. Chris, you're up next.
Julie, could you print out some agenda copies for these people?
Yeah.
If it's okay.
Yeah.
Mine is all scribbled on.
Mine too.
They'll understand.
All I have is in your packet is an MOU with Louisville Metro Government to take over the maintenance and upkeep on the tornado sirens. We're not the only people in ground in business to do that.
Yeah, but basically, Chris comes to me, it's just like he said, the tornado sirens that are around in the county, basically, these are the only people that we're aware of that can work on them.
Correct.
What's this gonna cost?
They charge us, it's a 4-hour minimum for and they send out a crew of 3 people, and they just charge us the overtime rate on those 3 people, and then the cost of repairs.
I mean, I get the cost, but what's the cost of repairs on what's that 4 hour cost?
It's in that, it's roughly,
$334 an hour.
yes.
That'd be for Sundays and holidays.
But that's
$250,
yeah, for 30 people.
That's for Saturday, right?
So Saturday and a weekday after hours.
Yeah.
So why can't they do this during hours?
Because they're all employed through Louisville Metro Government. They maintain the hundreds of sirens that
They're
Louisville
doing
Metro
this,
has.
they're doing this as a side job for us.
It is kind of a side job. Louisville Metro sends their people out, and basically all we're covering is their hourly rate plus the.
These guys are gonna be making overtime pay, so they're gonna have to do it.
Correct.
Yeah, and who have we utilized in the past?
We used a fellow named Dean several years ago, and have not been able to get in contact with him. I've called him several times, texted him several times. The thing is, the sirens that we have are old, so nobody besides Louisville Metro still works on them. So.
You know, as we move forward,
I think I'm gonna get the sirens.
we probably need to upgrade to something more modern than what we have. And I know that'll be quite expensive.
It's about, on a modern siren now, it's like 110 to 125,000 per one that you install, is I believe is the last number I got. I can double check it, I could be way off, but it's been a while.
And how many of these do we have in the county?
We have 9 spread across the county.
But
Not
we
near
have the
enough.
automated phone system now.
We do have that, correct,
Is it up all on?
yes.
Cool. But I hadn't heard anything about that.
So we need a motion on this, I guess?
I'll make a motion that we proceed with the agreement between the rural metro to service sirens.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Jim, seconded by Mike, to proceed and approve getting Louisville Metro to help us keep our sirens going.
I have discussion.
Yes, any discussion? Go ahead, Will.
Are they just coming out to look at all of our sirens, or is there like a few in
Well,
particular?
in particular, right now, the one at Cotton Lane, in one of the storms, the antenna wire got ripped out of the siren.
Yeah.
So when you look at the siren, it's on like a telephone pole, and the main box that controls that is, I don't know, 10 foot, 12 foot up on the pole, and then it's got the wire that runs all the way up to it, it's an antenna wire, which when the dispatch sends the radio signal, that's how it gets the signal to.
So that's what they're coming to work on?
Any of them we have problems with, we're not gonna bring them out just to go through all of them unless we know there's a problem.
I'll hold the line, you can climb up there and fix it, we'll
You're not gonna have them do like a once over, just anything we know that's broke, they're gonna fix.
Yes.
You know, you guys have the ability to go out and test them and troubleshoot.
We do not currently, I'm hoping they can fix that. When we switched radio systems 3 or 4 years ago, whenever that was, I had the ability at that time with one of our radios to silent test them, but when they reprogrammed everything, I lost that ability and don't have the frequencies to put back in. That was a radio that was programmed by Dean that kind of talked about earlier, and have not been able to make contact with him to get those frequencies.
Quick question. Could you just schedule them to hit the button up there?
That's what we do, we test them.
Okay.
But we have 9 of them, it's kind of hard for me to be at all 9 at once.
Hey, we can find 9 people.
Yeah.
So that's typically when we try to get people close enough that we can hear if they're going off. Throughout the, we don't test them through the winter time because federal signal says that's bad because the water gets in them and they don't want to, it freezes, they don't want ice.
Nathan's got like 45 volunteer firemen that would love to do this.
So,
I would suggest, and I would like you to do this, is before New Year's. I mean, let's try to do it right after Thanksgiving. If we can get with the fire department, that they can join and have a person at each place, turn them on, because we don't want them not to work when the tornado hits.
that is correct.
Y'all remember the Western Kentucky tornadoes were in December, a couple years ago.
Well, I appreciate you saying that again.
We need to test them immediately, and we need to get this, we approve this tonight, we need to get that broken tire working.
Yes.
We still have half a pallet of batteries out here at Brian's place. But we need every tire working, let's say before the 10th of December. Test them, make them work.
We'll do our best we can.
All right,
Sounds good to me.
all right, so,
We have a motion. Yeah, we got a motion.
got a motion and a second. All right, all those in favor of entering into this contract, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. There's a fellow here from Charter. I don't think the guy's here from Charter. I passed out to you guys, this paper. The fellow from Charter came in my office. His business card is printed there. It's not in your packet, but, basically it talks about, the work they're doing in progress. And I asked him to contact us monthly so we can tell the community where they are with what they're doing. That map is really hard to see, but you can see where those dots are. But they're putting the wires up on the utility poles, and they have no permits that they're getting stopped. You know, the permits are going through pretty quick. They're working pretty quick. There has been money coming on federal level and on the state level. We still have our ARPA funds that the last court devoted to broadband. I really think one day they're going to be knocking on the door asking for some. But as long as they can stay busy and keep it going without asking, all the better, I guess, for us. But we do want broadband to everyone in the community. Ever how we can get it, of course. And if you notice on this is supposed to all be completed by the end of 2025. It's on this page up here at the top. So that's still 2 years off. But anyhow, he brought this sheet and dropped it off. I wanted to share with you guys. So if you have any questions, there's his number. Give him a call.
One thing that
Yeah, Dan.
Governor Brashear, when he was doing his speech at the thing, in his budget, he's going to ask for more money for broadband to be distributed to the county, so
And
hopefully that'll come our way.
the Thursday morning, when the House Speaker and the Senate President, they mentioned, I believe, 3.8 billion that they have in surplus.
Yeah.
So we should, be confident that they will save, but also address the needs. Of course, we know broadband is a need, but I wanted to pass that along to you guys. So as we move on, parks, Mike, you have anything?
Oh, yeah.
All right, safety committee, Dan?
Nothing to report.
Okay, solid waste, Jim?
Yeah, well, the only thing I have is on I talked to Doug today about it, on this appropriation in our packet, $33,000 grant we got from the state for litter pickup along our roads. It only shows that we spent $1,717 since July the 1st. I think Doug said it doesn't reflect back to January. It is from January to January. So I'd just like to see where we stand, how much money we got left in that 33,000, so we don't have to turn it back in at the end of the year like we've been doing for the last 2 or 3 years.
The thing I did see several people.
Oh, I have too.
This last weekend picking up trash. So I don't know whether they were doing it just as volunteers, or whether they had signed up.
I think part of 155 out by Oak Creek got adopted.
Well, if I can, I know I've had at least, last meeting you all approved to pay at least 4 or 5 groups, and that's $700 to $800 a pop. So that should be coming off of there. And then there was a group, that has signed up just for last week, so that's who you probably saw, that we're supposed to be picking up 55 from town all the way to Shelby County line. And then I do have other groups out there right now too, in different parts of the county. What I've got it worked out where there's about 7.5 to 8 miles per group of roads. I try to make them so that they stay connected, and, you know, that we distribute it in order. That way we don't pick up the same road 3 times in 1 year. We try to I've got it, I think it's in 33 different groups. And we try to go through those 33 and then we start all over. And sometimes, depending on how much activity we've had, I may throw our main highways back in there a second time to try to keep them looking good for people coming in and out of the county.
Yeah, you know, like 155 and then going up 248 towards the lake, you know, we should look at more to them than somewhat like Chapman Lane or Washington Lane or one of the other little county roads that doesn't see the traffic. Because there's definitely more litter when people are bringing their boats out and water things are blowing out of their boat, whatever.
I know I actually had a group on 44 going up towards the lake this past week.
Yeah.
So
Legally, we can only let them do it 2 times a year.
Do what?
Legally, per Frankfurt's rules, we can only let them do it 2 times per year.
A road, a
Yes.
particular road?
I talked to the lady up there when you told me that a while back. and
Yeah.
She says, we can discuss that if we really need to. So I don't think it's cut in concrete that all we can do.
But with COVID kind of messed up our participation, but I will say our participation is picking up greatly. I've, like I said, I've signed up 3 or 4 groups just as of recent.
Good deal.
I've seen a lot more activity myself. I mean, I know they picked up Delta Road a couple weeks ago.
They got a Plum Ridge road a couple weeks ago.
You got Plum Ridge a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I picked up garbage bags today.
How many?
8.
Down on Delta?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Well, to give everybody an update, after I talked to Jim today, I went back and looked at, we got $32,319.76 this year to pick up for 2023. We spent, well, right now we've got $17,646.44 left to spend. There's about $1,500 on the bills for tonight. Go ahead and knock it down to about 16,000. And then we got some groups out, and I know they've ordered some supplies to have for future use, garbage bags, colored books, you know, stuff like that too.
What it seems like we're a month away from the new year and we're half through our budget. You know, we've only spent a little over half of what we had, so we need to pick that up. That's mine.
Well, I know we had originally talked about hiring somebody to do it.
Well, we tried to hire somebody to just pick up trash, but that never.
Nobody seems to have any interest.
Did.
Not yet.
Not.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been at this for a year.
Not yet. But I think we will end the year probably better, because last year we sent back, how much, Doug? I mean, the last
15, I believe it was last year.
Yeah, there's somewhere close to 15,000. I've got it here.
So, yeah, but anyhow, I thought it was
$14,800.
14.
The thing that really, you know, this is money the state gives us for this specific reason, and there's no reason why we should have to give it back. That's
I guess we're just gonna hire somebody paying $50 an hour. Jim, you're retired, you ain't looking for a job?
Nope.
All right, we'll move on. We're not, Karen?
Yes, sir.
We have, next in your book, we have a running ordinance to discuss the garbage contract. So Chris, if you'd like to come up. In your book, I invited Chris to come and speak with us. We have the bid form that they dropped off with us.
Hey, what kind of people's extra agendas?
There's 2 on the podium.
But So we may have some questions about Will and I was discussing the price per month. That doesn't include the fuel surcharge, or does?
Does not.
Okay. All right, well, I'll turn it over to you, Chris, from Rumpke.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for letting me come tonight and speak. And I'll speak briefly. I know you have a lot of things on the agenda, but just really want to mention Rumpke appreciates. We've serviced Spencer County for a long time, and it's a family-owned company. We're a large company, but it's a family-owned company, and definitely the family does see and it knows all these accounts and knows Spencer County. So we do appreciate being able to service the county over the years. Really just wanted to kind of speak. I spoke with the judge, and our rates, had changed, and it's not uncommon for any of our municipalities that we face that when we did these contracts several years ago, the world's changed quite a bit since then, and as we've seen as far as businesses, I think any business, and you've seen, well, even any resident has seen that when we go to a grocery store, or we go to pump gas in our cars, but we face a lot of increases. So it's been a difficult year as, we've waited till the end of our contracts came up as far as to do our adjustments instead of coming in the middle of a contract saying, well, we kind of become upside down on some of our accounts. But, so we held off till, it bid and had to do some increases. So really just wanted to speak because we wanted you to know that it wasn't just something to go and do a large increase, but it was to get where we needed to be, because I did send something to Karen that the judge has that could probably be sent out to everyone. It just kind of gives a little bit of what our percentages was down the line as far as what we paid for our trucks and what they were a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, just to get a new service truck has increased 50,000 or more than what it was just then. And that's if you can get it. We've ordered some trucks and then it took a year, 2 years, to get some of these trucks in, and parts have followed the same. So we do service our trucks and have our own service centers, but when we've negotiated just getting parts and keeping our existing trucks on the road, we've had a lot of things down the line. So I won't go into all of those, but we do have that available. It can be sent out. It just shows that it reflects the same percentages of what we've had to charge. And Rumpke does operate off of a small margin as far as what we do with our municipalities. So I just really kind of wanted to come and mention that. And if there's any other questions, I know, any other options to look at or anything, that wanted to be discussed, I just want to give that opportunity to be able to answer any questions.
The only question I have, I understand everything you said with cost and stuff, but how do you put a fuel surcharge on something if diesel fuel is $1.86 a gallon?
Yeah, so then on diesel fuel, we do go off the Midwest pricing. So it is Department of Energy. We have the website that we go off of, and then what we go to try to, what we're paying for our diesel. So that is very transparent. We do have the website. I can send the website to Department of Energy, and we do take it from their Midwest pricing. So
in my opinion, a fuel surcharge is when fuel gets astronomically high. If you're paying $3 a gallon for fuel, there should be no fuel. That should be figured in your cost, what fuel costs.
Yeah.
I had a lot of people complain to me when they see that fuel surcharge, which, diesel fuel when it's $4 a gallon, it obviously costs you a lot more money to operate. I understand that completely. But, when fuel is back down there $2.80 or something, you hear a lot of people complain, why am I getting a fuel surcharge? And a lot of these other big companies are not charging, not in the garbage business. I don't know, in the garbage business. But, in other businesses where they got multiple trucks on the road when, fuel is reasonable, you're not paying a fuel surcharge. That's really my biggest problem with this.
Yeah, and it's a valid question. And what I say is, for a long time, for years, we had a clause in the past that in Spencer County that if you even mentioned it, the $3 rate, that if it ever went over that for, I think it was 3 months, just because everything's billed subscription and it's quarterly. So it was put in that way, that if it went over $3, that it would go to the fuel grid. And so back, a little ways back, we did have that implement, so definitely the residents would see that charge happened, which would definitely prompt calls, because the bills increased when that fuel surcharge hit. And basically why we bid to have it the full-on grid is over a lot of our accounts, when fuel's volatile, we didn't know where it was gonna go. We ended up being upside down on some of our accounts because of how much the fuel went up. So we're trying to have it where there's a grid, that way then on our rates, it helps us just forecast and try to have a cheaper rate over a longer period of time versus if we can't, and it's what I would say kind of baked into the one rate, well, then we don't know what it's going to do if we're entered into a long-term contract. And so just the forecasting has been really hard because fuel has made some drastic changes for us in the industry that we're in. So I guess with us as being that we had it, we didn't want it to come back off after $3 because then it would prompt more calls. Like if we took it off, then fuel went back up like 6 months later, 9 months later, then it's going to prompt even more calls. So we're like, well, if it goes down, then the residents get the benefit of that cost going down, and it stays on the structure. So at least there's never a big jump because it wasn't on, and then it goes over that $3, and it's a big percentage jump because it wasn't there. And so, in our minds, that we thought that would be better as far as the rates and be able to forecast that at least we'll know we'll be safe on fuel. And if it goes down, then the county residents will get the benefit of it actually going down, but there would be no drastic change, or like we said, like I previously said, if it went off and then after $3 jumped back on, be just a big percentage jump. We feel that would work better.
Do y'all not sign fuel contracts? So.
Yeah, they do get some that they try to negotiate contracts, and it is different for different
You know how much your
areas.
fuel costs are gonna be over a period of a month, 2 months, whatever, you sign a contract for.
Yeah.
So, the biggest issue I have is all that, it's the fuel, it's been volatile, but it was really high. Now it's not so high, but the fuel charges are still there. And, I know my bill went from 40-something to 70-something over the course of,
3 months, right? That's for 3 months.
yeah, that's for 3 months, but still, it started, it was under the same contract. So I know on this new contract, it would be 70 anyway, but, it's like the fuel surcharges go on, but they never come off. And if y'all are buying fuel under contract, then what your fuel cost is gonna be for whatever period of time you sign the contract.
Yeah, but it's not a long period of time, so there too, with the county contract, it's a long term. We don't know where that's gonna go. And then we try to use some type of grid that everyone can measure to know where it's gonna be. So our municipalities, going off the Department of Energy, then post something for that area. So if we're in the Midwest, it's gonna have Midwest pricing. So that's something that it's the biggest way that we can be transparent on, being able to have some kind of guideline that everybody can go by, and that can go both ways, so that it can adjust. If it goes down for us, then it's going to go down on the bill as well. So if you'll go down,
Never seen it go down.
yeah. We have adjusted down, and they do look at that, and it does adjust. And so we look at it monthly. Of course, on the billing, it would be done on a quarterly basis, being a subscription billing. But they do adjust. We do adjust down. There has been times that it's went down.
I'm just gonna throw this out there, and I ain't getting into the whole fuel surcharge thing as far as have it, not have it, but, I just kind of running some numbers, it's like 24.90 in 2024, whatever.
Yeah.
I figure it's like $25, if fuel's $3 a gallon, then the surcharge is $3.16. If the fuel goes up $1,
at $4 a gallon for them, then they're gonna charge you $4.75, so the fuel went up $1, but the surcharge went up $1.07, $1.59. It's like it's not per customer,
But it's only a percentage of that. So it's only by a certain percentage that it adjusts off of that grid. So, and that is, I don't know if everyone has copies, but yeah, it does show as it's a certain dollar amount what that percentage would be. So it doesn't adjust.
Yeah,
Well, if-
we all have those copies.
Yeah, because it's like, well, fuel at $3, you're charging 12.65% fuel surcharge. If it's at $4 a gallon, then you're gonna charge 18.98%.
That's roughly like $76 or 76 cents though, right?
No, it comes with a difference in the percentages based on $25 for a bill, a monthly bill. At 12.65% added to $25, it goes,
I
it's
see.
$3.16.
It adds to the whole bill,
Yeah.
15% of the
But
$25.
if it goes to $4, then they're gonna pay an extra $4.75.
Yeah.
So it's an extra $1.59 more, so I'm like, if fuel only goes up $1, then why is like individual customers have to pay $1.59? Like,
So how do we know what your fuel charges are gonna be monthly?
Yes. Well,
When we get the bill?
yes, but also too, no, you can look on, basically, on the government website, and it'll show, basically before the bill comes out, it's gonna show where that fuel's been, and then on the grid, it'll show what that percentage will end up being.
Is that like a month ahead or a month behind?
It will be, I'll find out on subscription, because typically usually I deal mostly with monthly billing, and it would be the Tuesday before the end of the month, before they bill. So it would be basically, they would do that, I guess, right before, then a quarterly bill would go out. So I have to find out on the date, and I'll send that out tomorrow.
Okay. One more question, I'll be done. You guys have been with us for several years now, and I'm the solid waste chairman and work with Karen, and we've done this 2 or 3 times now. And I look back and on every, January 1st, 2024 to the end of the year, it's $24.90. The next year it's 25 cents. It's about $1 difference every year. Okay, well, you can go back and it works the same way. About $1, maybe a little more each year that you've been in Congress since 2006, basically, I think. But this year, you jumped to $5.
Yeah,
Wow.
26% increase.
I mean, not including the fuel charge that you weren't charging for years unless it went over to a certain price. But now you're charging fuel, the customer's paying for all your fuel, period. Is that correct? With these statistics?
Well, I guess, hopefully, yeah, that's covering, and the adjustment that it covers now. Beforehand, when it was on that, if it reached $3 and it comes on that one, then it was kind of where a line came. So on some of that end, where it got there, it wasn't being covered when it got close to that, because it wasn't a perfect number, but it was just a safeguard that if fuel went really high, that it came on. So, but really, as far as the jump,
Yeah.
it's because it is, things weren't really status quo as far as what you've seen with our vendors and everything on our end as far as what it costs to do business. Things have really changed. I think a lot of people in all types of businesses have seen that. And
This change has been taking place for the last 4 years, and really, we haven't seen it with you until right now.
Right.
So why haven't you jumped your rates $5 last year, this year? They've always been a steady $1 a year increase
Yeah.
for years.
Right, because that was built in, it was a term where annually there was a certain percentage increase, it was a small increase. So that's what it is. The world's changed in the last 2 or 3 years on cost, and we did that original contract back several years ago. So we have been where it's been like that, where we've been paying that over a certain amount of years, where these accounts, our costs have changed as far as any profitability or margin on the account. So then it's coming in where we absorbed that, coming up until it was, it was bid, and then we made
But I
the
mean,
adjustments.
even though you've had our contract since 2006 or something like that, and you've had these $1 a year steady increases, and you bid this contract every year or two, or we extended it, and you gave us the price for it, I can't understand why the big jump now.
Yeah.
When you,
Right, because on those, they were built in that if we did a renewal, it was within a percentage. I think we had a thing in there where it was just a certain percentage within those. So some of them came up, it was just built in the contract that way. And then I think we did do one renewal that was just an extension, and I think we did it for the judge at that time because it was already in the contract that it was, that fuel was getting ready to come, but we extended it because of the new judge getting ready to take, come in, that not to put it in his lap when he first started. So I think that's when we did like a 1 year. But before then, it was built into the contracts that it was a certain, I don't know if it was written in like it was a CPI increase or something like that. So we were really kind of locked in, even though an increase happened, we were really kind of locked into that over a certain term, whether it was 2 years or 3 years.
I mean, basically what I'm figuring here is if you had a 22% fuel surcharge, which that's pretty close, I think, to what it is. Does that sound right? At the 74, it'll cost you $74.70. And with the fuel surcharge, your monthly bill will be $91.13 quarterly. Yeah, $91.13 a quarter for 1 can, basically. And how much is 1 can now, Dan? I think it's
About $74.
It was about 46. What would be the possibility, that's my last question, would y'all do something right now, like since we're so close, to extend it like a 6-month extension or something? Or a year, is that a possibility?
I'll have to ask.
What's that?
They got it done at once, so.
I know, that's why I'm asking if they would extend it again.
well, it was always a clause in that we could extend it for a year if we wanted to.
Right.
Back in all the ones prior.
Man, I want to commend you because we requested about the curbside recycling, and they've got prices here for us, and I don't find them excessive at all, really. I didn't think so, but we have to have 40% participation. Keep thinking about it raining. But anyhow, so we have the basic here is at $12 a month to have the curbside recycling. And we'd have to have 40% of them to participate. We asked about that.
So what kind of time period, say if we said yes to this, you started your recycling program and you started advertising, do you want this service? What time period do you think, or would you say you have to get that 40%?
I would say probably, I'll get an exact number, but probably somewhere between, 6 months to a year is probably where we'd be at to try to get there for sending a truck and a driver out is obviously going to be a big cost just to have a certain percentage to be able to just recoup the cost on that.
So if 15% sign up in the first month or two, you'll start getting their stuff.
We
After a year, if we've only got 35%, y'all
Yeah.
may say we can't do it anymore.
Yes, and let me verify that in an email. I think that would be between a time frame of 6 months to a year, and I'll get that exact
Okay.
number to you tomorrow.
But, just clarify what the judge said, would you have to reach that 40% before you would come out the first time and pick up?
No, we'll go ahead and start it. We'll start it.
So, but, the bottom line is, we have options. We have to, I think, ask for an extension, or accept, I don't know what ability he has to negotiate with what's presented in front of us. We can, if negotiating tonight is out of question, then we not even need to mention it, but if it is, that's an option, accept what we have, or request an extension, or we could not accept this and rebid it. So basically tonight, those are our options.
When's the old contract up?
January 1st.
I mean,
I think it's kind of hard.
I would,
It's hard to negotiate if you ain't got figures from other places. You don't know what you're talking about. What are you negotiating?
well, I mean, we could say, just like Jim pointed out, for several years, it was raised $1 a year. And they're asking for basically a $5 raise. So if it went from $24.90, let's say, down to $22.90, but I don't know what authority he has tonight. I don't know what they sent you down here with as far as authority.
Let me see, what's in my back pocket? No, we did send something out that if the county wanted to look at maybe discounting the franchise fee, that would
Right.
reduce discounted costs in that way. I obviously could take anything back to see if there's something different that we could do. I would say one thing too, just to mention, Rumpke this year, just in Jefferson County area, I started 6 new municipalities in that area just because they were having problems with things getting picked up, and as far as, well, there we go again, as far as businesses and trying to get employees and find employees and retain those employees. Rumpke also, more costs that we incurred was we started a department that recruited. We also started helping like someone to come on as a tipper and get their CDL license, so we started some training programs to hopefully get some loyalty to retain those employees and have CDL drivers. That worked well for us, like even over the pandemic times and things where you're probably seeing on the news where there was some other companies, things were on the ground, but we were able to pick up what we've done, and we were able to retain employees and help out other cities that weren't getting picked up. And, we put in place what it costs to do the job, to be able to get it done and do it well. I would say, feel like the Rumpke has tried really hard to do a really good job for Spencer County and put our investments in it as far as our trucks, or we've looked at reroute programs, different things just to try to do a good job. And I believe that we bring a value in that as well, but we've made some investments to be able to keep that and actually be able to service cities where others have kind of pulled away from areas. I mean, I think even here in Spencer County, there's been a hauler that's kind of pulled away in Shelby County and some of these counties because they're having a hard time, servicing them. And, we've invested even more just to try to make sure that we provide a reliable service as well.
Well, I think y'all pick up trash good, but in the same sense, people gotta be able to pay for it.
Absolutely.
$100, is a lot of money.
my opinion would be that,
Trash.
that we ask you guys to give us a 6-month extension to July 1st of '24, where we can decide whether we want to rebid this.
I don't think we can make a decision tonight, so I have to go with Jim on that.
Like put that in the form of a motion, we'll vote and request them, and then hopefully y'all get us an answer if this passes, and then we'll start more negotiations with it.
I'll make a motion that we ask Rumpke for a 6-month extension or 7-month extension to July 1st of '24.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Jim, seconded by Mike, to request Rumpke give us an extension until July 1st of 2024, so we can do some more negotiating. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. So hopefully, Chris, let them know and
Yeah, I'll get an
they
answer
will
to you
consider,
tomorrow.
as soon as possible, so we'll know what our next move is.
Okay, absolutely. Thanks again for letting me speak
I
tonight.
don't think you should come back and say reduce our franchise fee, because I don't think that'll fly either, so.
Yeah, definitely. And that's whatever the county wanted to do. We're just looking at some, something that was an easy thing that we could do a reduction, but not a problem at all.
I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Veterans Committee, Dan?
Nothing to report.
Yeah, we're doing business, so, equipment, And telecommunications, Zach?
On the equipment side, we got the saw topper that we talked about last meeting, that they wanted to replace for 10,000. I got some lake come up to look at, they're gonna be able to fix it for about 2,000.
That's a good point.
So we're doing that. And then, telecommunications, I got some, I think there's some.
They're in the packet.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
later.
yeah, stuff on there, so that's it.
Are we gonna talk about that later?
Yeah,
Okay.
yep. Administrator Cole, Corey? All right, two areas of economic development, Dan?
Nothing to report other than.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lee Santa resigned,
Resignation, and
Yeah.
then,
so we have a
we also
vacancy.
have two other people on the, committee that are resigning as the first of the year.
I
Yeah,
saw that.
of the tourism committee, and you guys, I'm gonna roll you up on the agenda, so you don't have to stay here till breakfast. Anything else, Dan?
No.
All right, building and grounds, Will?
No, the courthouse is done. We do need to, when we was up there on the roof, the gutter system of the courthouse is pretty well non-existent. It just all dumps on the roof. And, I didn't get on numbers, but we need to fix the gutters. So that will be coming up soon. And then they got the plans done, animal shelter.
Yes.
And I think Scott and them done put it out to bid, they do the work.
Yeah, we already put the ad in the paper, so we've met the procurement rules. And some have called about getting plans. I mean, I know we paid Walters to get them. Hopefully they'll be it and others.
Do we have plans?
Yes.
I mean, besides these,
I think we only end up getting one set, so we need to make copies.
I've got a big set in my office. We probably need,
how many, you probably gonna need.
there's one. Yeah, they'll need more than
Walters
this.
should run off at least 3 copies for us.
I asked them to get us 6, and they said they'd try to get us a few, but I don't know what happened in the
The contractor come in, they're gonna want a regular set.
Yeah.
Contracts, not these, so.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of guys do it off PDF mail, which we have too, but I agree with you. There's gonna be plenty of people loading on paper. But we can go get copies made for $7.
Okay.
All right, I need to get,
Yeah, we need to do that.
yeah, I've just got one
We can
set.
probably do them in there. The clerk's office has a big copier, right? Yeah, it just costs us
The one's
whatever.
about yay big? Okay.
Yeah,
I can get them done over at Shelbyville, over at the building supply, probably for now, so we need copies. They don't want,
Okay.
let me know.
All right, yeah, we need to get them.
he's letting you know, Jim.
Yeah, we
He's
will
letting
need
you
to
know,
get
we
them.
need copies.
Okay.
And then free's always better.
Don't charge us a fuel surcharge.
But anyway, on the insurance committee, I think we've covered that.
Yep.
So,
You got the bill, it's not on there.
no, I didn't have that on there, but
There was, one thing came up at the conference, the state is going to, they're gonna become, KCO's gonna become self-insured, with Anthem being their administrator. So Anthem will no longer be the insurance company, they will be the administrator of the insurance. KCO will be self-insured. So, and that, they said they were doing that to hopefully hold down costs.
all right. Now we're in old business. I've got main, yeah, Linda, go ahead.
Please. I'm going to ask for approval from fiscal court to have the county attorney draft an ordinance discontinuing the fee pooling arrangement between the county clerk and fiscal court.
You're asking the county attorney
I'm
to,
asking fiscal court to give the county attorney permission to draft an ordinance to discontinue the fee pooling arrangement.
Is that on the agenda?
no, it's not.
Doesn't matter, more than we need.
Does that need to be in the form of a motion?
Well, to end fee pooling, I'll make a motion that we not end fee pooling.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, and, okay, down here, any discussion, we'll do a roll call vote.
Who was the second, please?
I made the motion and the second by Mike to not end fee pooling. And if you would do a roll call, please.
Squire Travis,
Yeah, not end fee pooling.
Yes, not ended, yes.
Squire Cotton,
Yes.
Squire Stump,
Yes.
Squire Ferris,
Yes.
Squire Eldridge,
Yes.
Judge Travis.
Yes. So the motion to not end fee pooling passes unanimously.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Main Street.
What about the building pavilion stuff? Where's that?
Just, give me, don't forget.
Sure.
Don't forget. Main Street.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna try to get,
I got you.
get the crowd thinned out unless they just want to stay.
So much.
We're having so much fun.
I think this meeting back in order.
Yeah, the old one.
Well, they brought an old one, they brought a new one,
Oh, I did.
like this.
Yeah, we got this.
You got color copies now.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, my wife, for that. All right. Updates. I think Zach wasn't here last time, everybody else was here. We have multiple projects, I'm gonna skip all the work that we've got, go directly to the Taylorsville signs. First of all, Jefferson Street, hopefully all the lights will be up before Christmas time on Bridge and the 5 lights. Most of the concrete work's done. The rest of the mailboxes will go in, should go in this next week. So mailboxes are in and that's being taken care of. So the last thing we're working on Jefferson Street is, get the sign moved outside my property. But we're going to, at the corners of Jefferson Street and Girard. We just did the landscaping, curbing. We used to have pavers right here on Main and Jefferson Street. We're gonna put landscape curbing and landscape all 4 corners of Girard and Jefferson. So we're looking to get that quoted. So Mr. Stump gave me a hard time. Will gave me a hard time last time. We've got the price tag lowered for the signs.
So what?
It was $39,500. Last time we had it down to $30,149. The city approved funding 50% of that last Tuesday at their meeting. So they're gonna pay 50% of the $30,149. That includes moving the sign that's, I've been here for 7 years and didn't know that sign was there coming in from 55 coming into town. Kind of right by that garage there. It's gonna go out to IMI's property. In your packet, you have a letter that I had from IMI approving to move the sign out to their site. So we have 4 signs to do. I just noticed the one out in front of Country Mart does not have Spencer County on it, Snowstep. The rest of them have Taylorsville and Spencer County on the other 3 signs. Just welcome to Taylorsville and Spencer County on them.
Yeah, look at the pictures. Are these signs all identical
All identical?
to the one out by Country Mart?
No, the one at Country Mart is bigger.
Right.
The other,
The rock and everything, the other one just has the post and the sign.
correct. And the posts, we're gonna get rid of the posts and put the exact same concrete structures. There's a 6-foot wide by 10-foot wide concrete pad, and then there'll be cinder blocks on there, and then the bricking will go around. So they'll look just like.
They're gonna look like Country Mart.
They're gonna look like Country Mart. The sign itself is different.
No,
That's
but
interesting.
it's gonna be like the rock and the column.
They're all,
I got it.
yep, all 4 signs coming into coming into town will all look identical.
Gotcha.
Since I gave you a hard time last time,
Go ahead.
I guess I'll give you a hard time again.
Actually, I didn't even hear you said a hard time. Mike said he gave you a hard time. I missed it.
I would say, I don't remember it, but
Maybe the other Mike. Not you, the other Mike.
I don't know. I think Big Will's both give them a hard time.
Mike?
Oh,
I don't wanna give you a hard time, I just wanna spend taxpayer dollars, but logically.
Yes, sir.
But my only other question is, this is the same company that quoted it last time, correct?
Correct. And, well, we did 2 things. We went to the, instead of that person doing all the work, we broke up the work and gave Brian Shelburne.
Yeah, I see that.
He's gonna do those concrete pads. For $2,300, he's putting in 3 6-foot by 10-foot pads, which was significantly less expensive. And
And the masonry guy's still charging a lot.
he's charging a lot. We put, a couple of us from Main Street put 3 hours in there for a voluntary perspective.
I think what Will's getting ready to say?
Well, I think I said last time too, you know, there's a local guy that does masonry work here in the county. But,
He worked on the courthouse.
He did, and I'm certain,
I tried to find out who did the original sign out there, and I went to Harold, and I tried to figure out who did the original
Okay.
sign. and I did the same thing.
Joe Goodwood.
Joe
I
Goodwood?
told y'all that last time.
Write that down.
Yeah, I got it.
And he may tell you, I don't wanna do it.
Yeah.
But he is a local guy here that did some work for us for the courthouse.
Okay.
You know, been doing masonry work for, since before my time.
I'll say this,
I just think this is still,
you came in here last time, I was here, you asked me for $40,000 for 3 signs, and I think you knew what my opinion was of that.
Yeah.
Now you got down to where you're asking us for $15,074.50
Yep.
for 3 signs.
that's pretty good difference.
That's a pretty good difference.
Yep.
And I feel pretty good about that, and you should feel pretty good about that.
I feel better about it.
The one thing is, I'm gonna beat you up just a hair here, and I'm gonna say, I do want you to call Joe Goodman. And at least we can have him bid it, at least we can say, we had 2 people look at this.
No problem.
And if he comes in cheaper, we're gonna save even more money, and
Absolutely.
if he don't, then I'm coming close to jumping on board with what you got here.
I'm good with that.
But then that way we can at least say we've all done our due diligence, this is it, cut and dry, this is choose to go, and I appreciate the city, if they're listening, for jumping on board with this.
I know Goodwood's on Little Union, it's not that guy, right?
No.
That's fine.
He lives down here off of, Sugar Creek.
But I know he's done some work for me too, and if he'll do it, I'm not saying it will be cheaper, but it's a good chance.
Yeah, we have his contact information, we can get it for you.
Okay.
But I really do appreciate what you've done here.
You know, I'll tell you my thought of it, yeah, we didn't like the last presentation. I mean, everything we do, we know is expensive, but, you know, kind of just out of, you know, let's all get along good, where the city put up some of the money.
Yeah, they paid the original $63,000 for all of Jefferson. It's gonna end up being $70,000.
That was a grant.
Yeah, they pulled it out.
Yeah,
of-
well, yeah, I'm
road grant
just,
funds.
I just wanna focus on these signs, but where they're agreeing to pay for half of these signs, I mean, I don't think we'd be out of line. We would like to get more bids for the brick, of course.
Sure.
But, you know, look on here, you guys are aiming to do the landscaping once the signs are done,
We've got about
And-
$17,000 invested in all this stuff.
and you're putting solar lighting instead of electric lighting, which that's gonna save you some money.
It was very expensive.
But anyway, he's got Joe Gillis' number right there.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Right there.
I think I've got him in the phone.
The city put in, and I don't care for 50%, but now that we're starting to get the right way on the numbers, I mean, I just like to make sure we did our due diligence and that low number's as low as it needs to be, and I'm ready to move ahead.
Well, I'll make a motion that we pay the other half that the city didn't pay for this.
Well, no, I wanna get the price lower some more
That's
first.
what he's talking about. Whatever it comes down to, he wants to split it 50%.
I'll tell you what I'd like to do, I'd like to table it until he talks to Joe, and then we'll both pay for half once we know what the price is, that's not the thing.
We can just do that.
If that's okay.
We cannot take it.
And I'm just saying, I'm ready to vote on it, but I wanna know
It's
what.
20 minutes of my time, so I'm
Yeah.
not worried about it.
So, but, you
But if
know, I'll withdraw my
We'll
motion.
do it at our next meeting.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah. Come back to see us first of December with those figures.
I like what I see, I like where it's headed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like, to tell your buddy I'm on board, if Joe Dillon comes back and he's the same price or more, then I give you $15,074.50.
Sounds good.
I tell you, I'm gonna go into the mailbox business too, so if you ever need mailboxes at $379 a piece, call me.
Yeah, I was gonna ask,
That was like 8 hours of research. I personally did it. I personally bought the mailboxes and then they reimbursed me. We bought mailboxes a long time ago. Nobody can find them. I tried to get something that looked same as what's on Main Street with the lights that we have, so, yeah.
I mean, that,
Thanks to Amazon, that's what they cost.
well, anyway, I wanna commend the work you've done, has beautified the town.
Yep.
Nobody can run away from that.
And by the way, the next project we're gonna do is from Washington Street to the bridge on 44. So we're working on getting the permits for.
Are you gonna go, like, are you gonna light up the bridge on 44?
Well, right now it's got 2 lights. I don't even know if they both work and they're all rusted up and stuff,
I
so.
mean, is that gonna be part of it to go to the far end of 44th Bridge?
I don't know if that's your guys' recommendation. I got his recommendation for the interchange, not the.
Well, the lights go all the way across this bridge, right?
They do.
It'd be very good if they match.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
But I know but I know that project is in its infancy right now as far as design.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, anyway, come back and see us first of December,
Got it.
first Monday in December.
The lights out here on the street, is that you guys or is that the?
That's us.
That's okay.
Except that we couldn't do the ones,
Always pick up a bunch of them.
the ones that are going down Jefferson Street are gonna be the KU lights. The city pays for the electricity for those, and KU gives us the lights for free. The objective, when we go from Washington out, is to get the same Main Street lights, which is going to be funded by us. We wanted to get the
You know,
same.
when I came in town tonight, first time I've seen it, it was very impressive. But there's 2 lights here next to this parking lot over in front of, next to the bank, that are different colors than all the rest of it.
All the light bulbs in them?
Yeah.
Maybe somebody didn't get LEDs.
Hey, well, tell you, buddy, I didn't beat you up too bad tonight.
Hey.
Do you mind setting through a portion of the tourism?
No, I'll say.
Because I want to talk about the city Christmas tree
Okay.
while you're here.
All right. Sounds good.
We go to a Rockefeller Platinum?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna move the agenda around just a little bit. Nick, you already had supper?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, you good to stay?
It's my bedtime, but I'm usually in bed by 8 o'clock.
Well, you're on our clock.
I'm all right, me too.
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you.
So, well, we'll get you right out of here when we get done with tourism.
Okay, that's
Just,
fine.
you know, all right.
He was excited, he thought she was gonna let me.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nick. I'm sorry. All right.
It's okay. It's
All
okay.
right, but anyhow, yeah, we got a lot of stuff tonight. So anyway, I want to invite we'll move the agenda around a little bit, but the tourism folks, if y'all would please come up. And
Don't be scared.
the book, I know it's quite lengthy. Normally the pages are numbered. They're not numbered in my book this time. Are they numbered in y'all?
I don't know.
So anyway, there's
Yeah, on the computer
It's
there.
like
They are.
176-ish.
it's more paper in my book. It's 200 some pages, but anyhow,
It was around page 176, is that what it's
I put me some little cheat notes.
Tourism email, is that what it is?
There is an email from tourism.
Adriana Marshall.
That's me.
Okay.
Yeah, that.
I'm on the right
Yeah,
spot.
good evening, ladies and gentlemen, yes. that's-
135 on the digital copy.
Sorry, Bonnie.
It's after I left Jim pretty good ways, not past this.
You said 135.
All right.
Let's see what we got.
It's after the electric poly hopper spreader thing.
Oh, it's after Todd's stuff. so
It's after Todd, it's right after Todd's stuff.
I got it.
Okay, now we're on the same page, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, my name is Adriana Marshall. I am on the Tourism, Recreation, Tourist, and Convention Commission. I've been on the commission for the past year. To give you a little bit of information about the commission, pursuant to KRS 91A .350, the commission is supposed to be made up of 7 appointed commissioners. There's a copy of the statute attached for you guys to review as well in your 200 and something pages.
Yeah.
The current commission is comprised of only 5 commissioners. 2 of them, which are the longer tenuring commissioners, are stepping down effective at the end of December. The commissioners are all volunteers and serve as the voice of tourism for Spencer County and Taylorsville. We're asking the court to work with the city and appoint enough people to have a full commission so Spencer County is compliant with the statute. The commission is joint with city and county. That's why we involve the city in that aspect. The appointees, we are looking for active members, not just bodies, because to just have 7 people sitting around is not going to get much done. So we're looking for involved people.
Get that guy sitting behind you.
I'm not retired yet.
The commission has operated this year without a chairperson. The chairman stepped down in April, and none of the current commissioners, including the vice chair, offered to take over the duties of the chairperson. This is not in compliance with the KRS statute. Stacy Kuhn has served as the chairperson for about 6 years and is currently the treasurer. She has stepped in and handled the
duties of the chairperson while serving as the treasurer. She is one of the commissioners stepping down at the end of this year. She pretty much runs the show. And I mean that in a good way. She knows everything that there is to know, has worked in tourism. She is a wealth of knowledge that is going to be greatly missed when it comes to the commission. We as volunteers do not intend to do the work she was doing, as we don't have the knowledge or the capabilities and experience, frankly, or the time to take on all of those tasks. Spencer County continues to be the only commission in Kentucky that runs on purely volunteers with no paid executive director or staff member. The commission had been told that when the county hired a tourism and economic development person, Lucina, that she would be available to spend approximately 50% of her time working towards tourism. When the commission was having these conversations and asked if she could be the executive director or serve on the commission, we were told that it would be a conflict of interest. She was available to assist in other areas if needed, but it doesn't make sense for a group of volunteers to be running the show, if you would, for tourism when there was a paid person who, in fact, the actual title started with tourism as the very first word in her position. So we're asking for assistance with that. It doesn't make sense for a group of volunteers to be handling the majority of that when there was a paid position for it. We now understand, this has changed a little, we now understand that the position is now vacant. So we need a solution on what is going to happen as far as the duties of tourism. The only guaranteed funding that tourism receives is the 3% transient room tax. This is based on the room rate for short-term rental properties throughout the county. The Kentucky Department of Revenue did add campgrounds and RV sites to the required short-term stays that are required to pay the room tax. This has helped generate more revenue this year, but again, it's not a stable income that's fulfilling the needs. The owners of the short-term rentals are required to file and pay the transient room tax each month. These forms and payments are mailed directly to the county treasurer, and then a check is issued to tourism the following month. Although the commission is a joint city-county commission, it has received little support from either entity. The commission has not received regular monetary support from either. The commission received $10,000 from the county in 2022 and $5,000 from the city in 2019. These funds, along with the transient room tax, are not adequate to run a tourism commission. A magistrate recently wanted to see the commission utilize the Kentucky Living magazine, and we did look into that as an advertising platform, and the media kit is attached. And when you look at that, you can see that the cost of that is greatly out of our budget. So that's really not an option for us. We do have rack cards that are distributed in Kentucky and Ohio, and that costs $1,440 per year. The state fair expenses itself are between $4,000 and $5,000 with the cost of the booth and promotional items to be purchased. The commission was able to attend 4 different golf and boating shows out of state in 2023 due to Kentucky tourism grant money, and there were still costs incurred outside of that grant money to have additional promo items to hand out. These shows directly affect our overnight stays during the summer months. The commission is required to have insurance that runs $1,500 to $1,700 per year. We're also required to have an attestation every 4 years, and the CPA cost runs between $3,000 to $4,000 each time. The commissioners also receive a $60 stipend for each tourism meeting that is attended. The Tourism Commission received an additional $35,000 grant. Could have been used to create 2 multi-day events that would have generated additional revenue for local businesses. This money unfortunately was turned back over to Kentucky Tourism, as we simply do not have the support needed to successfully have events of this caliber. We do not get to utilize the restaurant tax, which could be between 1% to 3%, as most eligible cities do. The Taylorsville City Commission has not approved the tax in the past, and Mayor Spencer has made it clear that this is not something that's supported. This tax is a pass-through tax that charges the consumer at restaurants within the city limits. An additional 1% to 3%, and those funds go directly to tourism. This does not increase the business owner's income tax at all. It is handled just like a sales tax. We do need Spencer County Fiscal Court and the city of Taylorsville to step up and support tourism, not just to say that it does support it and not fund it. An experienced executive director is really needed to be hired, and the commission would support their efforts so that we have someone leading us. As you can see in the summaries below, the finances are not sufficient. In the stepping down of Commissioner Kuhn, no grants will be completed for tourism, as the remaining volunteers do not have knowledge in this area. Without the $10,000 from Fiscal Court in 2022 and the grant in 2023, neither year's expenses would have been covered by the transient room tax. So you do have 2022 summary and 2023's, and it's just not sufficient. So we need assistance. We need help from you all to, number one, have a leader. We need someone who is leading tourism. It is much more vital, I think, than people realize. And I actually have 2 copies of an article that was recently done, if I may, give these to you guys, that talks about tourism in Kentucky and some things that were going big throughout different counties because tourism and economic development work so well together and we're able to make improvements for their county. So this is, it goes hand in hand with economic development, and we really need assistance to make sure that the commission doesn't pretty much dissolve.
Question. How much does it cost to have to use the magazine? Definitely amazing. I didn't see it in the paper.
It's in there, it should be in there.
It's not in mine. I just got the email.
Yeah, it's,
I don't have this.
it's a lot.
I'm just curious.
Sure.
Point how big an ad you got.
But, all right, well, if you all don't mind,
Dang.
if you all don't mind, before we get started,
That's good reaction.
while we're all here to talk about the Christmas tree. Okay, just drop everything.
After I heard all that,
Just hold on, we're gonna talk about the Christmas tree because, she and I had a long discussion with Lisa Anna about the community tree. Is there a tree, did you all buy a tree?
No,
So who bought it? Did anyone?
no one has purchased a
No
tree.
one has purchased a tree.
Tourism has earmarked $5,000 to go towards the purchase of a tree. We do not currently have a tree.
But we will not purchase the tree because we're not going to house the liability of that tree.
We don't have the funding for that.
That tree will be on county property, so the county would have to have that liability of that tree. So we are willing to pay $5,000 to an entity to purchase that tree.
Okay, Corey, if we put a tree on county property, wouldn't CAECO cover the liability of this tree?
Yeah,
I mean, wouldn't our policy cover a tree on our property?
it would be considered landscape.
Well, I mean, we've done it for years, haven't we? Over here,
What tree?
did we have a tree, we just put a tree right there with that one.
Or the War Memorial or to the
We're talking
side?
about for light up, or I'm sorry, for Christmas on Main.
Yeah, just,
Those are just too smaller, like shrubbery.
well, yeah,
We used
We're
to have
talking
big trees.
big
bigger
tree.
tree.
Yeah,
Just a
we're-
bigger tree.
We're what, we're
Yeah,
when I was a kid, I
when
remember.
we was younger, we had a big tree out there.
what happens?
But,
I'm not sure.
but anyhow, I mean,
There's so,
It was live.
okay, we had discussions, I mean, Christmas coming up, Karen's done left, right? But anyway, I told her that I wanna get the courthouse decorated as soon as Thanksgiving's over. So we need to discuss this tree. I have an idea, and I wanna run this by you. Right outside the PVA's windows, there's a little Japanese type small tree on a little grassy area. It's the same place the bicentennial memorial we're gonna dig up next year is. We could probably dig up the memorial without digging up that tree. But what if we were to move that tree and get a big fake tree and put it right there in front of the courthouse? And then that could be our official tree.
Talking about right over here?
Yes,
like how big?
12 foot, 15 foot,
That's it?
whatever
We
fit there.
want something like 40 foot.
Yes.
I'm just saying, you
Well, I'm
put a
gonna tell you,
12-foot
those
tree.
trees are a lot
You
more
put a
expensive
12-foot
than
tree
$5,000.
in front of the courthouse, it's gonna look like you just set this up.
Well, then put a taller one, I'm just
But
saying.
we
I'm just-
looked at a 12-foot tree, and that is about $5,500 for a,
It's just,
Have a real tree.
Yes.
I mean,
I'll
these
donate
trees are
a tree.
expensive.
The cedar tree.
And
Are
that's
you
what-
talking about artificial tree, you're talking about that?
to be able to put up a tree every year, and that's not counting that what you're gonna have to purchase to have decorated.
An outdoor tree, you're talking about an outdoor tree, not, I mean,
An
this is
artificial tree
commercial.
that is, yeah.
Well, we had a discussion about where to put the tree, and I think, and you'll have to defend this, and I don't want to throw you under the bus, but
All right,
it's your idea. They were gonna put the tree on the gravel lot between the courthouse and Tisher. And, because that was a big area, and anyway, they decided that was, I didn't think that was a good spot, but that's just me.
So our thought
kind
for
of hidden
that,
from the side. isn't it?
correct, but our thought for that was to turn that more into a location you go into. You go into kind of a Christmas world. So you've got the tree, you see the lights
So
up.
you're talking about this tree, you're gonna like decorate the whole.
That's our hope for one day. Yes.
Because
Let's talk
people
about
would
this
stop.
Christmas.
People would
I'm-
stop.
It's too late for this Christmas.
What if
I I personally can't do
Main
anything
Street
about
here,
it.
what can we do collectively with Main Street here?
Get a
If it's
live
Christmas.
25-foot Christmas.
Yeah, let's find somebody, some farmer's got a 25-foot tree.
That would
cut
be
down to-
amazing if we had that happen.
I mean, you gotta have a big county Christmas tree, don't do the same one that most people 12 foot tall put in their living room, I mean, that's a little
Well,
dangerous.
that's a pretty good sized tree, but I'm not,
I got a 10-foot tree in my living room.
I'm just saying, that's only 2 foot, you know, yeah.
I know, but I want to
I
start a
think that would
discussion
be
while we're all
amazing to
here.
have our local farmers who say we can donate a tree for this, because I know Light of Louisville just got a tree from the farm at Brookside, it was donated, it was a live tree. So if we were able to do that, wonderful, I would love to have connections with somebody to
A
make
cut
that.
tree or a rooted tree?
I think
Have
it's
root
cut.
ball or cut?
That would be a cut.
Well, I mean, they got-
You're gonna leave it sitting there.
I'm not that you gotta plant it, but if they dug it up somewhere, they decorate, then they take it back and plant it somewhere.
I mean, I'm not a Christmas tree specialist, I figured, but I see a lot of trees when I go down the road, that would work.
But these are kind of discussions that we have in my office, and I have at meetings all the time. And I wanted to, while we have a pretty good group here, have this discussion.
Well, I won't do it, but I won't do it bigger than 12 feet.
Okay.
I think I could donate a 25-foot cedar tree.
There you go. Cut it, bring it down, right?
Get some other people to
Okay.
help.
I get that, we get people to, we can decorate it.
But
Okay.
see, but there's more to it than just we can decorate it.
I
We've
know.
got to purchase the lights for it, we've got to purchase the stand for a tree of that size. As
We're getting there.
Well, if you.
Exactly, but that's
If you had
this,
$5,500 to buy an artificial tree, and we're providing the tree, but you think the $5,500 would cover the lights?
I think it would help. I don't know that it would cover everything, because you gotta think you've gotta get outdoor ornaments and things like that. You're gonna be getting the large. So,
I mean, I ain't been to Lowe's in a while.
And again, that's
you're
why
not
I
gonna
was
find these
thinking
ornaments
12
at
foot.
Lowe's, right? These aren't.
Well, now they
It's
do have,
within
if you got a
grasp.
big enough tree, Lowe's has those big
But are those
balls.
the shatterproof outdoor?
They are
Tree for free,
shatterproof,
spend a little
they're
bit more on the
plastic.
lights.
And they come in all different
Then we gotta
colors, because I know I
set it
bought
up.
several of them.
And tie it down, you know,
To be
You're bringing
honest with
something
you,
that-
gentlemen, though, that the tree is the least of our concerns at the moment. The tree discussion started a few months ago, and frankly, at the end of November, it's a little too late. At least in my opinion, I'm not gonna be able to pull something together, I'm
so
decorating.
we ain't gonna have a tree this
Well, that's what
Christmas.
that grandchild did.
We didn't have one last Christmas.
We'll have the two at the
Well,
one.
looks like he's gonna have it cut down in the morning, so.
Anyway,
I would love to talk about a plan for 2024 for that to happen. I think we could do something great for that instead of just slapping something
Hey,
together.
Will, I hope you get a tree.
I appreciate that, sir.
We'll get that thing down here.
We're gonna get a tree.
We're getting a tree, so we're gonna talk about the lights.
But with a tree that large, you're gonna have to think about where to put it. Because there's not a lot of spots on Main Street to put a tree that large.
well, I mean, a big old tree like that will have to go on that gravel place.
No, we'll put a parking space up there.
Yeah, you can take two parking
Yeah.
Isn't there a parking place right in front of your home?
And then you don't have people trying to
Yeah,
park
come
next
over here.
to it and running into it, breaking ornaments off of it.
Put first floor,
How big of a space where you're talking about in front of the courthouse, how big a tree could you put?
I mean, you can put bigger than a 12-foot tree. I mean, it's a pretty good space. It's from here to y'all,
I
where?
don't know how you sit here on a
Right there.
25-foot tree, that might be a little.
Yeah, but maybe,
I mean, a 30-foot wind, 18 pretty rough on trees.
30 foot.
I mean, it's 30 mile an hour wind, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty rough on trees.
I don't know
That's
if
why I was
think
thinking shorter, it's a little more manageable.
Randy could tie it down for us.
So, but he could,
That's why we don't want to carry any liability for the tree.
all right, we didn't get anywhere. Let's move away from the Christmas tree and go back to where y'all's at.
Well, can we,
We'll discuss. Y'all come in my office, we'll
I
figure it
think we
talk about trash.
can we vote on
Go
the
ahead, Dave.
$5,000 for
out. Well, it's certainly.
decorations and stuff?
Yeah, we
have
already, we
a
already did that. You guys don't have to do anything with that. We already did that.
It's their money.
Tourism has $5,000 to give when the trees, wherever the tree exists, we have $5,000 with decorating.
But you act like that's not enough money.
It's not enough money to purchase it, and the
But
thing
if, but
is,
if you get the tree for free, it is enough money.
It could be.
it could be, but we don't know that. We haven't priced all those decorations because we were giving money towards a project, not us
It's a
purchasing
joint.
it all.
But does the tourism commission has $5,000 to
Earmark.
earmark to
Towards that
put up a tree?
Towards that.
And then the decorations, we'll put up a tree, we'll take them down, put them in pots, save them to next year. All right.
There's,
Hey, why don't we say we plant a tree and we give them $2,000? Something.
there's a company,
Yeah, they got
and
$5,000.
you'll see their signs everywhere if you drive in
We can go.
towards Louisville.
The decorating.
That's their specialty, they decorate. So I'm sure they'll bring a boom and everything.
They won't put on there? couple extra lights up, they can't.
So we did all the lights on Main Street, we got a boom, we can
Yeah,
get,
boom, right?
so.
Yeah.
So we get it.
I'll take it to our meeting next Thursday.
All right, we got it worked out, sounds like. At least we got it going. All right, thank you all. That's all. You stay. You're welcome.
You gotta take care of her budget for
What was the other part of it?
She doesn't even
More about people.
I was just gonna say, the Christmas tree was not what we came to
I know,
discuss.
I know, but she and I didn't have a resolve to it, and I thought it was a good time.
So
So,
Will's still cutting the tree?
yeah, I guess.
Well, he said he was gonna find a tree, didn't he?
And will, right?
We'll find the tree.
Well, he said he's gonna help her.
All right.
So I think we need to talk about tourism though as a whole,
Yeah.
because
Oh,
that's where we're at. Is Stacy's gonna disappear, Louisiana is gone. I know nothing about tourism. I am here to help as best I can. Bonnie has been on the commission for a while, but we cannot do everything. We can't do the state fair by ourselves, we're not gonna be able to do golf shows.
so is there getting ready to be 3 vacancies when she leaves, is that right?
4, there's gonna be
Okay.
4, so there's, well, you're gonna appoint one person, which is gonna give us our third person.
I have one appointment tonight that I'm gonna bring before the court.
Yeah,
Have you guys approached the city with this same spill?
I haven't been to the city yet, no.
Are you going to?
Yes, I would like to,
Are you going to?
yes.
Okay.
Well, a lot of our disagreement, I guess, or misunderstanding, I don't want to say disagreement, misunderstanding was with Lisanna, and I think it may have contributed to the friction that was taking place was what she was supposed to do for you all, what you all expected her to do for you all, and what I feel we expected her to do, for the county. And I mean, my position was that where she works for the county, she was a Spencer County employee. She was not an employee of the Tourism Commission. So I wanted to keep that line. And I didn't want to create an opportunity to where she had to choose one or the other. So I thought it best that she not be, or when I keep saying she, whomever this person is, because if we hire a new person in the future, and we're taking applications right now for this position. And again, anybody we hire, we'll have to vote here. So nothing's gonna happen without you guys. But anyhow, but this person needs to be, not allegiant to the Tourism Commission, because she works for Fiscal, the person works for Fiscal Court, excuse me.
There has to be a separation of duties there.
Right,
Well,
and
it
there we
doesn't
had a
have to be. It
misunderstanding.
depends on what you hire them for. I mean, a lot of counties that I've talked to have a specific tourism person.
When we attend a regional tourism meeting, we are the only one that is not a paid staff member. The rest are the executive directors of tourism.
But when we created the position, we did not create it with the title that they were a dedicated staff person for you guys.
Or exclusive only to tourism.
Correct, but this person's title was tourism and economic development person. And then for tourism, unfortunately, she was not allowed to do anything really for tourism. She did nothing.
Well, you're Taylorsville, Spencer County Tourism.
Correct.
Louisiana was Spencer County Tourism.
Okay. And we're okay with that. If that's the avenue that you
Yeah.
want to talk about, that's great.
And I don't look for that to change in the future.
But one of the things that was talked about in the emails that went, I think it was to Keiko or whoever, about if she were to do anything for us, that we would have to pay the county for the hours that she worked for us. Okay, that's the problem. The county doesn't fund us enough for us to pay anyone to do that job.
And if you look in which we provided those documents, if you look when the Tourism Commission was commissioned, it states in there that the county and city fund us until the transient room tax provides enough, which it doesn't.
Well, how much
Until the transit tax took hold. There's nothing in there that says the county has to support you guys other than the 3%. Once it was after a certain 6-month period or whatever it took.
No, it says until the funding is provided. It says until the funding is sufficient, I believe is the wording.
Right.
Of course, sufficient is a variable. How much we, I'm sorry, Jim, how much did we take in tourism last year?
29,000.
Last year, I'll
In
just throw
transient
all
tax.
those, about 32,000 that we received last year. On the bills tonight, we have 13,600 and some dollars that, and I'm not sure, that may be a couple of months worth. Of course, this is a busy time of the year for the, during the summer months as far as the room tax. And I'm not saying it won't be some all year, but this is probably,
And it is probably going to go down next year because we are losing playing stays at Tanglewood. And that is a lot of revenue that comes in for us. And that is probably not going to be the case starting next year.
Well, I'm optimistic they'll find a buyer that'll,
But Alan's not selling the apartments. They're splitting
There
up.
is, if anybody is interested in attending or Zoom, he is having a meeting tomorrow at 3:00. They're interested in seeing if someone or a group of people have an interest in changing it to a member-owned golf course, which I don't think is gonna happen, but
yeah, so Doug, in the last 12 months, how much did we collect in transient tax?
in the last fiscal year, we got 32,000 or so. So far this year, from July 1st to today, we've collected $23,790.
So from now till the end of June, won't we grow that number?
It could go down some. Of course, we've had some that,
it'll go down.
it's like
in the
they
winter.
paid a year at a time or something like that, they've been behind.
It increased this year because of the Department of Revenue having the campgrounds and our sites
Yeah.
have to pay the transit room tax. They're not open in the winter. The state park is closed, so that, we won't have that revenue. The problem is, for what we do and what needs to be done, and to have a paid staff member, that's nowhere near sufficient for anyone.
When, a few years ago, when the city and the county, each one put up, I think, 25 or 30,000 a year, Annette King was the paid executive director for Spencer Taylorsville tourism, and that fell apart,
My understanding is she was part-time and there was some conflicts. I don't know that to be certain, but that was what my understanding was.
Well,
of that.
we paid, say, $60,000 a year for an office in her, okay? And she was around for what, 5 or 6 years maybe? And then either the city or the county quit funding it. So when one quit, the other quit, and that's where you are now. So if we had one director, could we go that route again? Where the city agrees to put in whatever we paid, half of whatever her Luciana's salary.
Which, I mean, that's, there's a lot of ifs there.
Yes.
It concerns me.
And I think the county needs to decide, you all need to decide how important you think tourism is for economic development and what it can do for the county. I mean, that's what it boils down to, is what.
Yeah, I think we
I
decided it
think
was
we
important.
decided when we made Luciana's
When
position.
we made that position, we decided it was important.
I mean, we're getting ready to build a couple $1 million facility. If we don't have anybody to promote that,
That is correct.
I just think, just listen to this, I ain't been here like Jim, but it's like, I want to fund like tourism, I want to make sure that they have what they want to do, but the organizational part of this seems like a mess. About as far as who's funding what, and nobody's, I'm kind of like Jim, I was like, maybe we should just take it back over, it all comes from one place, and then it ain't gonna,
Now, one thing we do need to correct, I wasn't aware.
Because I want y'all to have the money, but I ain't gonna play this stuff back and forth with the city don't wanna do nothing this year, or
Well,
the
and that's the
county,
thing, is you're relying on volunteers to go and ask for all this money and be the go-between to promote the county, and that's not sustainable.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you weren't there the other day when we were talking, but the Stacy, with the tourism, you would send out the notices that these hotels, whatever, Airbnbs, had a payment to make.
No,
And then,
no, that.
who sent that out?
Adriana, she didn't understand the process of that.
Yeah, explain how
Which
the.
shows you me as a volunteer who does not know about
Okay.
tourism. I didn't
So
know.
Thank you for being
if you
here.
own an Airbnb, through research like any new business owner does, they find out that they have to pay a transient rent tax. Most of the time, they'll call the tourism number, and I'll walk them through what they need to do and that they need to mail a check to Doug. There's no one that double checks all of that stuff. We don't have the time to follow up with all these people, or to make sure that they're licensed with the occupation, that they've got their business license. Because the majority of these people do not live in the state of Kentucky, and they don't live in Spencer County.
See, that's where I want to offer immediate help, because we have our occupational tax director, Stephanie Smith, and then we have Ashley here with the planning and zoning that is assisting her with that. I mean, we have an ABC guy that follows up on the alcohol licenses. I mean, we have the means to do that, in my opinion.
Just the training and stuff she's talking about shouldn't increase their workload very much at all.
But,
they just
anyhow,
tell them the rest of what they're
They
doing.
mail
You know,
in
it's a
forms to Doug,
consideration.
he has a copy of everyone that pays, and then he sends us a copy of those with
Yeah.
our fee.
I mean, Doug almost is doing it now anyhow.
For the transient keeper.
So,
Right now, when we get a check from Tanglewood, say, because that's the easy one to explain, I'll make a copy of the form when it comes in, along with the thing, and then usually after a month, sometimes it's spelled longer than that, sometimes, because this one's about as high as any we've ever wrote a check for. I'll make a copy of all the ones that we're reimbursing for, because a lot of times, a lot of these groups out here, I don't know they do because of members of their board, some of them represent hotels, restaurants, all the different groups on the tourism board. A lot of times they know if somebody's out there, just like the bed and breakfast that was over here in town, of course they've closed now. A lot of times we don't know if they're operating or not. So that's one reason why we'll always send a copy. And then with some of the changeover, Matt used to come in and get them a lot of times. A lot of times I take them to Stacy over at the Chamber Building, and that's kind of changed now some too. And we've let it kind of fall on the cracks on getting all the paperwork to them.
Brittany assured me that y'all were gonna start mailing that again.
yeah, we need to take that back over to take that load off of you guys. We can do that. We have means to do that, and I mean,
We have mailed them a few times, and a lot of times they wouldn't have enough postage on it, they get reimbursed or sent back to us because they didn't have enough postage on the envelopes, because I mean, this time the stock's probably about that big.
If you mail the check, you can scan in the paperwork. Right. It's just, we're volunteers, we all have other things we're doing, we don't know when you put a check in the box
Yeah,
to even come by and get it.
Yeah.
And some of us can't get by the office when it's open.
You said that you guys are, it's obvious that y'all are losing people. Would it be your opinion that you're losing people because they just don't want to fool with it anymore because they ain't got the time or any other reason? Or is people leaving the commission because they feel like that it's futile to be on it because of the lack of support?
I will tell you that's why I'm stepping down.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, if this thing was supported, with hypothetically, don't shoot me here, but like if we just said, look, we're gonna redo this thing, we're gonna pay a part-time person to chairman this thing, we're gonna give y'all some money, and then like your volunteers, the other commissioners were like, okay, now somebody's on board, we're on board with the county, they see the same as us. Do you think that you guys could keep this thing rolling, or is everybody still gonna quit, it's gonna fall apart as soon as we?
No, I don't think it will, because some people step off because they don't know what they're getting into. You could appoint somebody because you think they have an interest in tourism, but that just means they want to come sit at the meeting and find out what's going on.
Right.
It doesn't mean they're helping, and that's what we run into.
But I know that people are more amped to help if they feel like that the opportunity is there to make a difference, which that's probably where we're hitting the roadblock right now.
I may make note too, in the budget for this year, we did budget $10,000 for tourism support.
That might drop in right there.
Well, let us touch on that a little bit, because we brought this up to Dan before, because Dan has attended our meeting. The Friends Group came and asked for money towards fireworks, and you all were gracious and did that. Oktoberfest came and asked for money, and you all were gracious and did that. It's the same amount that you all give us for a whole year for a one-day event. And what we do has the potential to bring in extra revenue on an ongoing basis to the county and to the local businesses. That's what tourism does for Spencer County.
I'm not saying it's not worth it.
No, but I don't know that everybody understands that. And that's why I want to make sure, that's why we We're volunteers, we shouldn't have to come and ask you guys.
Well, if anything, that should give you hope, if we're willing to spend that on a one-day event, you know.
Well, it does, but I've been involved in tourism for 7 years, and unless we come ask for money, even though we're your commission, we don't get it. And so we don't feel supported.
Well, I think, though, some of that is, I mean, yeah, maybe we need to up the initial payment to the tourism, you know, the allotment, instead of $10,000, maybe it needs to be $20,000 or whatever. But in a lot of cases, we don't know what tourism has in store, so you'll need to come and ask for money. And I think I've told you all that before.
But with all due respect, isn't
You
that why you
need to
come to
ask
our
for
meetings?
money.
I thought
You
that was
come
our
to
meeting.
He
I thought
comes to
that's
your
what you were
meetings and he
doing.
reports back to us some
Yeah.
stuff that y'all are doing, and this was discussed, that was discussed,
But I don't go into, they're gonna need, you know, I may bring up that they're gonna come and ask for money, but I don't give a dollar amount because.
That's where I feel an executive director's position is.
Yeah, and
Not-
that's what,
not
I
ours.
think, what Jim was talking about earlier, that the city and county used to go together and they had a person. Now, I don't think that tourism and economic development need to be separated, because I think they go hand in hand. If you got tourism, if you got economic development, then, especially like with the distillery or whatever, that's economic development, it's also tourism. And, but they need to be a 50-50 thing, where.
I think that the judge and the mayor needs to get together on this and decide whether they're gonna be, the county and the city's gonna be together on this, and if they ain't, then we just take it on. And then we just do, you work with them, we find out a list of needs, what's going on, what the big picture plan is, and then let's see as a fiscal court, if we can stand behind that and support that and roll on. That's what I think. Sorry, Jim, go ahead.
I'm good. I said, the other thing we could do is like what you said is, if, the city needs to be involved in this, okay? 50-50, in my opinion. So if we hire a position that we hired, and we make that person the executive director of Spencer County, Tennessee Tourism, okay? City pays half, we pay half, and you've got your commission, you guys. Is that suitable?
And then we gotta talk about a budget.
Do what?
Then we gotta talk about a
Yeah,
budget for them.
you gotta talk
Well,
about
I'm just saying, but regardless of whether it's 50,000 from each or 100,000 each,
That's what we're looking for.
okay.
So we're on the same page
We
now.
need someone to lead us. I don't know what to do.
Then I think
So
the
Bonnie and
judge-
I can meet in January and twiddle our thumbs.
I think it
We need
needs to be
someone
both,
lead us.
Jim. Like you said, I think it needs to be county and city.
Well, then I think the judge should meet with the mayor of Taylorsville and start working this out.
But I think it needs to happen. Like if the city don't wanna do it, then we'll just do it.
Well, the city, don't say that because, you know.
The reason
City
the
of-
appointments are,
Well, no, I
are
mean,
city
I-
and county appointments is because we don't have a hotel or restaurant association. So that, therefore, the appointments have to be city and county. And they represent hotels and restaurants, whoever you appoint, but they don't have to own one or work at one. They just represent that entity in the county.
So,
The biggest thing to think
I
about.
don't think we're
County
gonna settle this
employees
tonight.
I agree with you.
But I think that, I think that's a good idea to, I know you're busy, but if you could meet with the mayor and kind of toss some of those ideas at her. And I do know that the legislature, in the last legislature, they had a bill to allow the counties to enact a restaurant tax.
Judge Travis has already said he's not gonna support it.
I will vote no on a restaurant tax like Mayor Spencer.
Well,
But I'm only one vote when I'm sitting here.
it's not really, it's a pass-through tax though, it doesn't cost anybody.
Let me give you a little thing
It costs the consumer.
that
That's
I've
the
heard.
consumer, but you pay it in every county around us. How often do you eat in another county?
Let me
How
say
often
this.
have you noticed that you're paying 3%?
Hang on, Jim.
Well, I noticed when I was hired, how long that.
Y'all hang on, Jim wants to talk.
Go ahead. I got some information, very good, reliable source too. He says, if you go to McDonald's in Taylorsville and get a price of a Big Mac, you go to Shepherdsville, get a price of a Big Mac, Shelbyville, same price.
Same price.
McDonald's has, and I'm just using McDonald's, all the restaurants, they have that percent of tax.
Yeah, it's already built in.
It's already built in. So whoever buys a Big Mac over here is paying that, and McDonald's is taking the money instead of going to the county.
Yes.
So there's no reason why we shouldn't have that tax on the
It will,
restaurants.
when we approached the city before, that it would floor you the amount of money local consumers spend on restaurants, the restaurants that we have in our county. It would bring in over $100 and something thousand to tourism. And you all wouldn't need to put extra money in. The consumers and the people that are coming to the lake or staying at the resort would be the one funding that.
Yeah, but how many restaurants do we have that like McDonald's?
Two, no. Three.
You know, it's more. Dairy Queen do that? Probably not.
Yeah, Dairy Queen does.
Probably do, but
All the franchises.
Dairy Queen, Subway,
Their prices.
McDonald's.
Subway, probably, their prices are the
Taco Bell.
same.
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell will be the same. So it's only, you're already paying the tax. It's just not going to,
But it's gonna hit, the other restaurants too, it'll hit Lindy's, it'll hit.
Well, it don't hit the restaurant.
It doesn't hit the
People that's
restaurant,
eating at the
though.
restaurant.
Well, go after the ones that are franchised, if you have to exclude it.
You can't exclude all
Yeah, you
that.
gotta include everybody.
You gotta do it for everybody.
That's a good piece of information. Okay.
Anyway, I agree with Mike, since Scott, you had me stick around. I mean, Main Street Association, I've done law for a couple of years. If the city wasn't paying, to have the executive leader that we have, you can't operate without it.
Yeah.
It's peanuts, dollars, relatively speaking, but if you don't have that leader, you're not gonna get the structure
Yeah,
that
but
you're
the
talking
city
about.
hires Beverly,
Right.
and I don't know what she earns, but I've been at their meetings when they vote to get her
Yeah.
payment.
And
And that,
you just have, that person gets the budget, they take care of the finances, they take care of the whole.
I was just saying, you need to get with Karen.
I got you.
And work this out, but I don't want the tail wagging the dog either. I mean, let's get this down the road.
Let me clarify something, because yes, there's some animosity, but I've done this for so long, and it's not the support from you all, for the city. It's the people that are appointed, that they come in and they'll say they're gonna take over a project and do something, and it doesn't happen. And it happened this year. We talked about these wayfinding funds. That's a huge deal. And I just said, somebody said they were gonna take it over, I'm not gonna step in and do it. And it's not happening.
Do y'all generally provide recommendations for appointments?
That's what I was about to say. Y'all know your job better.
Or do you get somebody shoved down your throat?
Somebody said, so for instance, I am only here because Stacy came to a chamber meeting, I'm the president of the chamber. Stacy came to a chamber meeting and said, hey, did you guys know that someone from the chamber is supposed to be on tourism? And I was in a volunteering mood, and I said, sure, I'll do it. So I've been here. I know nothing about it.
So you're the one that's been dropping the ball?
No. No, I did not take away finding because I knew I didn't have the ability to do it. For instance, when Lysana was here and
You're a
Stacy
very
talked
lucky
about,
guy too, I like it.
when Stacy talked about the state fair, we were sitting in our meeting and Stacy said, so somebody needs to be the chairperson of the state fair to make sure that we get it all set up and we get enough volunteers throughout the county to man the booth. Who's gonna do it? And we all kind of sat there. I was 8 months pregnant, so I did not take it on. I had a baby July 6th. I did not do the state
Well, I
fair.
think, y'all
Lysana took it on.
y'all have identified, a lot of issues. I didn't know all this, was going on. I'm just heard about it right now.
Sure.
When everybody's heard the old saying, the first step to recovery is admitting you got a problem.
And I
So,
appreciate it.
I think now we've all admitted that we got a problem, and, just for the sake of getting all through the night, Scott will put you, getting with,
I agree with.
and we'll come back in
Our path.
in a couple of weeks, and we will come together with you guys, and we will.
And I'm
Like
happy to
that
come to
forward.
these in the evenings when I can. I can't.
What is
every day,
your
but-
thought if you see a plan of action? You seem pretty knowledgeable, you've been doing this for a while. So if you see this moving in the right, way, are you interested in staying on the committee, or you're just over it?
Are you burned too bad?
Well,
here's the thing, I know-
I love, it's a very difficult decision for me to make.
I know what
It
Will's
was,
saying is,
and-
we can see that you're very passionate.
I'm very
About
passionate about
this.
tourism, and I'm very passionate about Spencer County moving forward. But she can't run it. I'm the treasurer this year because I told them, because I was stepping down last year, that the only way I would stay on is if people stepped up to be chair and vice chair. They did in name only. So I've run the commission the whole year again, and done the treasurer position.
You're tired of it.
It's not sustainable for one person to do that.
Well, it's just, yeah, it's just.
Well, in our defense, I'm kinda like Michael, this is the first I knew there was really a problem.
Well, but we have,
So
somebody
it was a
and we
misunderstanding
thought that he
then,
was
is
getting
that-
updates
that's
as
what
to
he
what
was
was
doing.
going on.
But he
Well-
would, but like he said, I mean, totally in his defense.
He's not really part of
We're not,
the
we're
board.
not bashing him at all.
It was a
We're just
misunderstanding.
saying
I'm
what we
I'm not
want.
gonna come here and talk about the fact that, well, tonight was the first time it came up that I knew you all were having issues and you were gonna quit, but I wasn't gonna bring that to the court because you may have changed your mind in the meantime, so.
And, but like, you know, the all hands meeting, and I mean, I wanna brag on Stacy. We went to a meeting when we first come in office, Dan, up until it was freezing cold that night. First one I'd been to, Stacy had a book of binders this tall, more than you can pack under your one arm. And she had everything laid out, had all the money, every question, there was a crowd there. I think you were there, Bonnie, that night. And I thought, she's got all this under control. She knows, and she did. And, but anyhow, you know, as it goes on, and of course, we wanted to contribute and benefit, which is why we created a brand new position. I mean, we went through the budget, we got it lined out. We created job titles, you know, what we expected and so forth, and we worked that direction, and I thought we did a good job at it. I really thought we did. And I mean, I'm sad that it worked out like it did, but I mean, but still, the dream is not dead. We need a person, and I'm going to do exactly what you guys said. Try to go with the city. Me and the mayor will start discussing tomorrow.
I would ask, if I could, that you do include the tourism commission in those discussions, because
Yes,
as the judge and the mayor, she may not have any idea of what we're doing.
well, we need to find a direction that we can all go, or we need to consider how we approach the tourism commission in the future. I mean, we may need to you know, redo our ordinance. We can't get on the same page.
Well, that's what I kind of started saying, you know,
Yeah.
if we can't get on the same sheet of music, then we not.
Restructure.
Right, we need to restructure,
Right.
rebuild it, make sure everybody's on the same page.
And what that means is have paid people, and I'm not against a paid person. We didn't have
Still have to
that,
run through the commission, though.
but we
That's
didn't,
part of the statute.
we didn't have that position set up that way. But if
At
we
least
go
that position
forward,
wasn't a position with you all. At least
If
that
we did a paid position, it would be
us.
separate commission, it would be separate from what
It
we
has to be
do.
because of
I
the
understand.
statute, the commission has to exist in order to charge the transient room tax.
I understand, yes.
but I mean, we'll do that. We're not gonna solve it tonight, but one thing we can do tonight is make an appointment of Steve Conti. He is a chamber member. He's very active. He has a business out.
Pyrite Illusions that's over there in Settlers Trace. So it's the,
He's very passionate about it, but anyway, I'm gonna recommend that the county make an appointment to the tourism board of Steve Conti.
I make that in a motion.
All right, is there a second? All right, we have a motion by Will, seconded by Zach, to approve the appointment of Steve Conti to the Tourism Commission. Just looking to see how long it is.
3-year increments
Okay.
staggered.
So anyway, and then, but once we get him approved, then we'll swear him in.
Do we know which position? I mean, the question that I have is, do we know how many positions are vacant or going to be vacant at this
There'll be
board?
4.
That the
After
district
you
board?
appoint him, there'll be 4 positions that need to be filled.
Of course,
Be 3, because you're gonna give us a chance to make this system better.
Well, I'm saying that are all 4 to be appointed by fiscal court, or?
it's pending,
They're
yeah.
both joint.
In
Still
fact,
has to be joint as well.
yes, yeah, his appointment is pending that the city also approve him. But this will be one of, to fill some vacancies of an active person that I've met, and he has a passion. So anyway, we have a motion and a second to approve him from the county's appointment. Any more discussion?
I think I know the answer to this question, but does does the commission approve of this suggested appointment?
He comes to things. I don't know how active he will be when it comes to doing things.
Because we just
Because
talked
he
about,
does work second shift.
because I'm trying to show y'all that I'm trying to turn the page. We just talked about that, how you guys would like to be involved in the discussion, and sometimes you have people appointed that don't do things, and, you
He is
know.
one that I would say yes to. We might have had a different one this year that would have been a no.
The,
Who's not here?
Okay.
Lisa Anna presented this on November 7th to me, and it says the board unanimously agreed that Steve would be a great addition and fill one of the many board vacancies. So y'all good with that?
Do we know which position?
Is it just gonna be commissioner?
It becomes staggered terms.
Yes, that's what I say. There's usually 3 years, but the chamber appointee is normally 1 year because they have to be a chamber member, and those are annual renewals. The other ones are 3 years staggered, is how that has been set up, and that, I think that's in that ordinance.
All right, we'll get that figured out at the swearing in time. That'll take care of it, right, Corey? All right. So, all right, any other discussion?
Please read that article about tourism and Kentucky. It's just amazing the amount of money that
It's the color I recognize. Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, all those in favor of appointing Steve Conte, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, thank you all. We'll continue in touch. And, you know, our door's open there.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you all. Appreciate you staying. Nick, I ain't gonna hold you no more.
Where are we at?
I'm here. So if Will gets the tree and they put by the ornaments, we'll decorate it, make it pretty well.
There you go.
I'm still jumping around.
Scott wants to make sure he gets his tree.
All right,
I do,
we're back to Nick. This is still this is an old business.
Alright, so am I going before the animal shelter and stuff for this real quick?
Let's, first, no, animal shelter, we're gonna start right here. So you stay right there.
What's the agenda item number?
138,
113.
113.
113?
Animal shelter under okay, bluegrass fiber. We have that in our book, but we don't have anyone here. Should we do it tonight or not?
Yes, by all means. There's a stack there, it replaced one spelling error. Otherwise, we've agreed to the term. Nick, I'll take 30 seconds. We've raised the rent from 100 to 120, and then the electrical issues has been resolved so that if it exceeds the 12-month average by 250%, because it does fluctuate by season, fiscal court can then seek that overage beyond that 250%.
He's done a really good job
Yeah.
in passing.
I've had to go back and forth 6 times, but we've got it worked over again, so.
Yeah, that one word was where it said commercial general liability police. Is that the word you corrected?
No.
Changed police to policy?
No, it was utilization that was misspelled, section 6A.
Okay, number 11, that word should be policy, I'm pretty sure instead of police.
Probably is.
I read it.
I don't see it.
What do you, policy, police?
Oh, wait, that was,
It says general
that
liability
was on
police,
the animal control ordinance.
Yeah.
page 92, section 11,
Yeah.
fourth line down.
92.
Yeah, policy.
Yeah, page
Yeah.
92.
And then the word deck should be declaration. Is that the one you call? So the policy as well as the deck, or do you use deck as short? The deck pages?
Short. That pictures.
Okay, deck pages, all right. Well, how did y'all come up with the 250%?
Because the range in the electrical for the EMS tower, the average was the 5185 figure. I think the highest amount was in either August or July, around $130, so
Okay, I got you.
relatively close to the highest. If it exceeds that amount, then that's why there's the increase in the rent to offset any potential variation in the electrical price.
And I know you'll really impress me if you can answer this question. The interference, did he mention interference? What's potentially, I know what interference is, but did he give examples?
I mean, if we're putting new equipment up there, we have to probably check and see, but.
I mean, I wondered if this is gonna interfere with communications that's already happening. We don't know that.
I'm pretty sure that it's on a different, a different range of frequencies even, not even in the same bandwidth.
Well, I know, I had T-Mobile, AT&T put in the tower. I had to buy a booster for my signal, and they said that's why, because T-Mobile's tower was interfering with the AT&T signals.
That's a concern I have, if something was put up there and it caused problems, do we have a way to deal with it?
I mean, I don't know if it would interfere, but.
I don't think, if you're talking about like emergency services, regular communications, I don't think it'll be.
It could even be what Dan described.
Well, usually like cell phones are in a certain bandwidth.
Yeah, I got you.
And then emergency services are a different bandwidth for
This
that
is-
reason.
Yeah, this is a Wi-Fi though. It's not a phone signal. So this.
Section 4, the lessee shall not use nor shall permit its properly approved employees, invitees, or agents to use any portion of the premise in any way which interferes with the operation of the lessor or others currently using the premises.
There you go.
Page 9.
But what about people off of our premise? If something they does interfere with someone,
It's off
it
our
won't
premise.
have nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's off our premises.
And then the access, we're gonna basically give them a key to the gate if they need to get to the tower. And I just wanna point that out, so, all right, if y'all wanna move forward with them,
So
now's
you
the
need
time.
to make a motion to agree with this?
Yes.
I make a motion that we enter into agreement with Bluegrass, for the lease of the tower.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Jim, second by Dan, to move into an agreement, or enter into agreement with Bluegrass Fiber to use our tower.
So you're going to access 7A, ingress, egress, access to any portion of the premises which the equipment is located. So.
Yeah, they basically have to give them a key to the gate. Of course, they do have to notify us sometimes, it says.
Yeah, it depends on the.
Yeah, all right. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? One no. So the motion passes 5-1. All right.
You didn't even say anything before you dropped that? Reading?
Those are going past.
You gotta be like me and talk about it regardless.
I want to drag it out a little.
9:30. All right.
We're not past that.
Now, Nick. Come on, Nick, for real.
Your turn.
Wake up.
I'm sorry.
Well, you said you wanted to talk about the shelter and stuff first, so I mean, I'm gonna talk about an ordinance, so if you wanna discuss whatever you need to about.
Well, all right, yeah, well, we kind of talked about it all. The animal shelter drawings are in your packet. We're gonna get copies. We've kind of discussed that already. Anything else we need to discuss, Jim, on the animal shelter?
No, I went back through the drawings that I had, that I made up, and, because I think there was a comment that there were some changes made on this, from my print. This print is identical to the one that I presented, so.
So you're good?
I'm
You
good,
good?
as long as Will's good with it.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, I mean,
I have one other thing on animal.
Go ahead, Dan.
I'd like to make a motion that we have the county attorney go into negotiations with the Humane Society to develop a contract that they can present to the court for us to look at, to see whether or not that's a route we want to take.
All right.
Second. I would have thought that was in the process, but since.
No,
All right.
it wasn't.
We got,
Not the form of a motion, but I thought we agreed to do that.
well, we've got some stuff in the book here.
Yeah, and
to look
what's in there is only a partial thing. I had her send me the full thing today because I said, you're missing a bunch of pages.
Yeah. All right, well,
I agree.
we have a motion by Dan, seconded by Mike.
That Corey will go into negotiations with the Spencer County Humane Society on developing an agreement between the county and the.
I'm sorry.
All right, so we have a motion and a second that we do this. Any more discussion? I'd urge everyone to vote in favor of this so we can get it on paper, what they're actually going to do for us.
Do you need to be involved with that also?
Well, when we get to the point where we're gonna actually, we have some kind of terms or something, yeah, but we're not even at the.
I just wanna make sure that
Yeah,
Corey
we're-
might need you there to know what.
Yeah, we're not at that point yet, so.
All right, any other discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. What is in your packet there? I had a lot of questions, under phone, like, for example, phone lines, animal welfare. People are gonna call in and they're gonna handle inquiries about, residents complaining about animal welfare. I would rather.
It states in here, in the form that she sent me, it specifically states that any dealings with the public as far as animal welfare or calls about that will be handled by animal control and not by the Humane Society.
Of course, under 9, under community relations, it does say county shall be responsible for fostering positive community relations, educating the public, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, I got a problem with anyone, and like you said, anyone other than Nick, taking those calls of the public complaining. Yes, ma'am.
I'm actually the president of the Humane Society.
Okay, the local, okay.
Correct.
Spell
So,
it.
Would you like to come speak again? I'll let you.
no, I can,
Surely you ain't tired of saying it, Nick.
I can just answer questions like that if you need to. All we would do is answer the phone. If we got a complaint, if we got something like that, we would document the way, the procedure that we come up with, and we would give it to them for them to handle.
That would be in your contract anyway.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
If anybody wants a copy of the full thing instead of what's in the packet, I can make copies and.
You gotta vote, right? Can anyone, Nick, or Mr. Marshall, can you say why that Nelson County Humane Society is leaving them? Why that fell apart?
I don't know details on that, no, I'm sorry.
But they did fall apart, right?
They did, but there are other working ones that work very
Yeah.
well. Mr. Ferris was one.
I spoke with 5 different county reps this weekend this week while I was there. Out of the 4 of the 5 use a private entity to run their animal shelters, and then they use their animal control, as animal control. One of them didn't have an animal shelter at all. So
Violate the law.
that's why I brought that up.
Well, I mean, I spoke with a fellow from Nelson County, and I mean, one of his problems was, and I don't want us to have this problem, is that the people would call and not talk with Nick, they would talk with the Humane Society about taking a pet in, and then they would hitch the pet to the gate overnight, and you come to work and there'd be a dog chained up, and then, there was issues with that. He actually said that he chained the dog up to the dumpster, and then when everybody come in, then he had to.
I think
Take care of that.
we had discussed that at one of the meetings about having, area specifically for that under the building where someone could put the dog in and they couldn't come back out.
Yeah, it would work though. Then you got a problem with people coming out of Jefferson and every other county bringing their animals in and dumping them. That was the problem with Nelson County with having their kennels like that. They had 3 kennels that were specifically for that, and they had a cat drop-off box, kind of like for babies. You can't do it without monitoring that, because you're gonna have people that come in, they're not gonna fill out paperwork, and I limit the animals that come in, the people have to prove to me that they're from our county. I'm not gonna take our taxpayer funded money and allow people to come in from Jefferson County because they're full, come in from Nelson County, I don't care what county it is, I love animals. But I'm here to take care of our taxpayers and take care of our people, so I don't think that those boxes would ever work. And Nelson County shut theirs down.
Okay.
They don't utilize them, and they don't utilize the cat boxes either.
He said they're starting to lock and put a gate up.
And in theory, it's a good idea. I mean, I think, I think it is. Yes, it's a good idea, but you also have people that are gonna take advantage of that. So if you give them, you give a little, they're gonna pull. They're gonna, so.
Another problem you run, so if somebody brings in a diseased dog.
Exactly.
And dumps it in that box, then you've got a big problem.
Because your boxes, you have to give them access to the inside. And I don't, we were just talking about parvo the other day.
Yes.
I don't care if it's 2 kennels down, it can still be spread. It's highly contagious, so I mean.
The
it's
county
one of those
judge told
things.
me they took the dog in with that and died, and they gotta close their shelter for 2 weeks.
Wait, we're not gonna have a drop-off box, so what's it?
Do we currently have a motion on the floor?
Yeah.
No,
No, we voted for
we
it.
voted on the
They
motion
are,
to have them negotiate.
Yeah.
That was it.
All right, good deal.
All right, what's the next thing we need to do? I got lost in all the ordinance.
We just trees, Christmas trees and dogs and everything.
So we're talking about your ordinance
The
now.
ordinance now.
Okay, all I wanted, I'll make this real short and sweet. I don't know if it's in there. I think they scanned it into the thing.
I got it.
This is the 2008 series. That's the most recent ordinance that we have for our, so I want to stick with dogs for right now because we can only take in dogs to the shelter. I want to progress once we get the new shelter because we will have the ability to take in livestock and everything else. But for the time being, because we don't really have an exact time frame on how long it's going to take to get the new shelter, I would like to update a few things on this ordinance, at least to get us through until we do get to the point where we do have our new facility. I just want to update some of the verbiage in there. I want to change, like dog pound and rescue officer. I want to update that to, to animal shelter. That's what we run. Animal control officer and things like that. I just want to update some of that.
Do you have marked, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but do you have
You're fine.
marked everything you want to update?
I do on this sheet. It should have been the one that was copied. But I
I mean,
do,
is
I
it
have this sheet. I can
underlined,
give
or
you.
how is it?
I highlighted it and wrote beside it.
Okay, well, your highlighter on it.
There's one.
But I do have a paper that I can give you, and because Corey offered me too, said I can come by tomorrow, we can try to rewrite.
And section, just for your all's purposes, what's in the packet beginning at 113, it's begun to incorporate a lot of the handwritten changes that Nick had, but section 5, beginning where it starts with 1, and then A, B, C through F.
Yeah.
That's new.
Okay.
There's a non-compliant section that's taken out in section 6. Section 8 has been changed, the language, and those changes, these are the changes that have been added to there. The original ordinance is on the county website, but
It's probably,
and some of the
I probably
spelling, I think,
spelled
is
some of
where it was,
The vicious dog with the purchase agreement permit.
yeah, I mean, this
But-
is
Oh, that's
where
probably
it was
some of the
converted from
original
PDF
stuff.
to
Yeah.
PDF to Word and all that sort of stuff, so.
$100 on a vicious dog, a permit for $100 is a little cheap for a vicious dog. I think we need to be up a little bit.
well, there's a lot of things that I would like to incorporate whenever we do get into the new facility, that I would like to kind of rewrite a lot of stuff. And my biggest thing was under nuisance. If there should be a sheet attached where I had rewritten some of the nuisance ordinances that I would like to put, because I have people that call all the time and they've got a dog next door that barks, 12, 13 hours a day, and and this puts it into terminology that I can actually, I can start writing notice violations or citations and things for that. And then I wanted to change under the penalties. I wanted to get rid of what we have now, and I want to change it to where we've got a progressive fine, because you don't always need to do a citation. Because citation means that I'm taking somebody to the Spencer District Court. And there's some cases we need to do that, but there's also some cases where I write a $25 fine, they do it, they still allow it to happen. Well, it's gonna go up to 50 the next time, 75 the next time. Once they have to pay that 50 after that 25, they're probably gonna respond to it. And there's some people that'll just flat out say, hey, I'm not paying anything, and then that's when I have to write the uniform citation, and they have to go to Spencer District Court. So I think that would, those two things, the corrections in that, will allow us to, at least for the time being, move forward and be able to do enforcement a little bit better.
Well, the only problem I have with it is this has been in effect since 2008, and we're gonna be in our new building hopefully in the next 6 months. Don't you think we could hold off on this until we get into a new building, because we'll go right through the same process again when we get into a new building of amending the ordinance again?
Our building's gonna be dried in this time of year.
But anyway, that's just my
We got a
thought.
long ass way away from that.
And the only thing I had is like, you know, you talking about the vicious dog, I don't see anywhere in here where it defines.
Yeah, that was the other thing. I mean.
There's a completely separate ordinance from like 2007 or something that goes into detail on vicious dogs and things like that.
And I didn't do any of the drafting for this one.
Yeah.
These were the suggestions that were made, and there are multiple ordinances, so we're gonna consolidate where we.
This is the newest
Well, that's
one.
what, you know, it always say like, if it turns into vicious dog, C ordinance such and so, right? You know,
I mean, I think we should do a whole new rewrite, but again, what I had presented initially, it's probably 20-something pages, I think it was like 22 pages. And, you know, it's one of those things where we're gonna be here a while trying, because we're gonna have to read it and go through it.
Well, I think the main thing is you're gonna have to, you and Corey's gonna have to get together, and you're gonna have to talk about what this ordinance needs to be for you and for us as the county to run animal control, run it effectively, and to be productive as animal control. And then he has to make sure that things fall legally and how it's worded, and then present something to us. You know, I think Jim's a little early on the 6 months thing, but I know what he's saying, and he's saying like, you know, this is a step in the right direction. You know, but how many times do you want to skin the cat? You know, I don't know, but I think if this is completely just FUBAR because it's just completely outdated and none of the terms apply, to, you know, maybe you need to do an initial rewrite and then spend the next 6 months thinking about how we're going to make it better to provide the final one that we're going to do in the next year.
Could you take your ideas that change? I mean, everything I've ever seen, usually if you're striking words, put a line through the words, and then if you're adding language, put it in italicized.
Yeah, I can do it. This was just something that I wrote up. It wasn't any,
Yeah, because like in ours, we can't really see anything that's changed.
Yeah.
I think if you want to make some changes now, I don't see nothing wrong with that myself, because I think the animal shelter's a year away, at least.
I agree.
Well, the only reason that I didn't change it, you know, to, instead of saying dog, and say animals and things like that, is because I can't take cats into the shelter right now. So if I change it and I create nuisance laws or nuisance ordinances that pertain to cats, and then somebody says, oh, well, it says right here, you know, if you've got a cat on their property, you've got to pick it up. You know, what am I supposed to do when I don't have?
Yeah, I think we just need to mark out and show the
Yeah,
changes.
show us
If
the,
you wanna, you know, do that for time being.
the changed version, so that we can see exactly
Well,
what
I'll get,
changed.
me and Corey are planning on talking tomorrow. I'll get with him tomorrow and we'll get something written up, or at least he can advise me how to write it up properly. And then
Yeah, when you all get that done, drop it off in the office, and again, we'll send it out, we'll email it out to everyone, so we can discuss it, and then, you know, when we come here, we would have already had time to have read it. And then we would have an idea.
Because I think, you know, if you want to do it like preliminary and put it out there, because even if the shelter's open in 6 months, you probably want to run the shelter for another 3-4 months to see if anything comes up as an issue under the new shelter that you didn't think about when after you was in it.
I mean, that's gonna happen, that's why we'll have to do something, we need to change something if we need to change it, but, I mean, that's just part of the way everything
Part
goes.
of it.
Yeah.
Jim, we like your optimism on the 6 months getting the shelter up.
Hey, you said
I say much a year. I know. Don't read my mind. Anyway, but we on the same page, we good with that, Nick?
all right, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
We'll do it now.
Yeah, I hope y'all get before midnight.
We will.
I'm about to say, I'm gonna go right to bed.
All right, on the old business,
Thank you.
old business, we've done Main Street, we've done Bluegrass Fiber, we've done the animal shelter, we did the ordinances, now we're down to salt bar quotes. And I passed one out to everyone. Also, we have two, but, I don't know where, I didn't mark them.
There's three quotes, but there's actually 4 quotes in here. It's with two different people. They pulled up 4 different ways you want to look at it.
How many's in the package?
There's
There's
two in
one
the
place,
classes.
because I got them on my phone too.
I handed one out, but
Vaults in there twice.
Bulk bid on it for the original drawing at 226. Well, then Todd come back with a modified drawing, and they did 131.
There's another one
The
now.
modified drawing, what you're looking at, does not include no walls, just a floor and an apron.
Right, I don't have that. I just got those, bid.
Yeah, the 131 is not modified, it's just they took away the
No,
walls.
the drawing was modified.
No.
It says right there at the top, modified
This
drawing.
one, I met with him.
I did too,
I
Ted.
met with him when this was all going on. This is the drawings with the 226, 240, 246 is what Todd and Eric Bean drawn up.
Right.
With walls and everything.
Right.
The 131, 181 is without any walls, just a floor.
Which is
And a
a
curb.
remodified drawing.
Yeah, that's floor only,
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
all right, but, another bid, I handed out that one.
And then this is what I talked to Brian about this, and I didn't talk to nobody else, I talked to Brian about this. And I had him work this up this way. What Scott called him, had him just get a price on just putting the floor in there, which comes to 73,000. And I told him to add a 4-foot wall, 18 inches thick, basically.
And that'd be what the bottom price is.
Yeah, and that's what the bottom price is for a total of $111,750.
See, I don't have that.
I don't have that.
Well, this one I handed out.
That's the
Well,
one.
today, Todd,
Or is that this one?
I don't know.
You had them together?
That one, yeah.
Yeah, that one together.
Oh, okay.
It's a single.
You can either, he's basically Shelburne's bid is bid out
There you go, I know it's.
in a way that we can either do just flat work or we can add the walls to the dome.
How many square feet? 38 by 414?
Mm-hmm.
well, the specs are for building a damn bridge, not a salt barn.
I
You
don't
don't wanna
know.
say that. You're putting 5/8 rebar, 9-inch on the center. You can build a bridge across the Ohio River on the same specs.
Yep,
For a salt barn, it's gonna get used 3 times a year.
yep.
We're gonna spend $100,000 for some concrete.
Now, I spoke with, or some of them at the road barn, and about everybody at this table has probably poured concrete, but, we can pour it in squares, probably and pour it ourselves, and be just as good as hiring it done, but, again, it's up to the court.
But just as good.
Let's hire this out, let professional concrete.
Well, what happened to the, speaking of, what happened to like the next one did, like just put some bed blocks around the side?
We still gotta have a concrete.
So,
I
this
know you
is
still have
what,
a floor, but we're talking about walls too, so.
I got a price today. Todd told him, wants a 30 to 40 pad out front, pour on the floor, 1 foot thick,
yeah,
is what Todd
The
came up
floor, a
with.
foot thick?
he wants to put, yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be 8 inches, 8, 9 inches, but this price is for the 30 to 40 pad, a floor in it, and my personal opinion, I had him, this guy quoted it the way Todd did it, I told him to quote it the way I asked of it. There's 6x6s up there on, what are they, on 8-foot centers or something? 6-foot centers. Just form up the 6x6s, pour your curb in between the 6x6s. Rebar through the post, rebar in the curb, rebar in the floor, obviously. I think the rebar could be on 18-inch centers. 9-inch centers, the rebar is $23,000. Just for rebar, that's what it costs. I called them and checked the price. But this price is on 9-inch centers, but, so form your 6x6s, that rebar, pour them, set your blocks, pour the floor, or pour your floor first, set your blocks on the floor, and then, the blocks are not gonna push out through the post with concrete
With
tied
concrete, I agree.
through the post with
The
rebar
concrete's attached to the floor
into
too.
the floor. And for a foot thick, doing all that, the curb to pad is $78,000.
I don't think
The
they
different bidder,
Yes.
yeah. Well,
That's through performance concrete. I think it should be on 18-inch centers, the rebar, which changes the price substantially. And I don't think we need a foot thick concrete.
No.
And if we break through that 6-inch concrete with a loader and pushing a 2-ton block, I mean, somebody's went crazy. And pouring them walls, we're taking up you're losing 7 foot of the barn you just spent $30,000 on.
Well, that's the way that that's the way that his walls are set up, is incorporating those 60.
Yeah, but they're 18-inch walls.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, in the standard baseball.
That's all you need. All you're doing is pouring a wall right where hold
You
that
don't
in.
need an 18-inch wall.
I mean, couldn't you just do a 9-inch wall just like standard baseball?
You get a loader on there pushing on it though.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
The loader ain't gonna push to a 6, you need a 6-inch stud. just to
I'm
hold
saying
the wall.
the loader's gonna push against it. It's gonna happen.
That W600 ain't gonna break through 9 inches of concrete.
I'm not saying you won't, but you,
Todd and I went through it today, and he showed me his latest version, and that was
That was
to
crazy.
come out from the post, 8 inches from the post, okay, pour that in concrete, rebar, a couple runs of rebar in there. Then you got a gravel base that's, out from that concrete that they just poured, the curb around it basically. Set the block on the gravel, and then come back and pour the floor.
You're pouring a trough is all you
The
put a
block
trough
is
in.
forced between concrete on both sides where it can't move. That's what Todd told me his latest idea was gonna be.
That idea was 112,000 just through this contract.
What we gotta do regardless is, it's over 40,000, we gotta bid it. So,
Nobody's bid the same thing.
That's the thing, nobody's good at it, we gotta go with a plan.
Yeah,
And then-
the presenter has changed it, I think three or four times.
I know at least 4.
Well, let's get Todd, get what he wants to.
But I think
We don't need to do
I
it.
told-
And get 3 bids.
We
on it.
do what we wanna do.
But I think over $100,000, over $200,000 is ridiculous.
That's because you're building a bridge.
I agree.
No, I mean, I'm just saying that, whatever that plan is, you just
That's,
know that's true.
that plan came from QK4.
Oh, yeah.
well, y'all, what worries me is, just to put a floor in the hoop barn was 100 or 200,000, and we wanna build a pavilion and an animal shelter. We can't buy $1 million worth of concrete for 3 projects.
Well, we shouldn't be having to pay that much.
That's right, that's right. So, we gotta regroup, but anyhow,
That's not gonna work.
let's do this.
Same price.
Right now, we don't have,
110,000.
we don't have any place to dump salt.
I think we
So
do
we're gonna be
exactly.
using cinders.
Let's hash it out, let's figure out what we want, and let's end it.
I talked up
Or
there with
post.
Keith. I talked to Keith. This is what I've done. One thing that I think about, y'all keep laying that concrete block idea out there. And I'm fine, I'm not really fine with using concrete block because of one big reason. Is you don't get the same concrete block every time.
Well, that's true.
And what's gonna happen, since one of them boys is gonna be in there 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, half tired of sleep, they're gonna care, they're gonna catch that block, it's gonna pull it out of that block. That's what's gonna happen.
And that is a valid point, I mean,
Because
I've
I'm
built
gonna
some
tell you,
walls recently.
I've done it, I've been up there, I've been working 16, 18, 20 hours straight pushing snow, and the point where you just don't care, you just wanna do your job, and you wanna go home, and you ain't paying attention to stuff,
And it
that's when
seems
stuff like that's gonna happen.
and it seems like the last
So-
batch of blocks that I got, quality wasn't.
I thought, this is the idea that me and,
Wall, on the edge, you catch it with the
Oh,
hub.
no, you don't want to.
the idea that me and Keith come up with was to just form in between, pretty much like what Will was saying, form in between those 6 inches down there with plywood. You pour I figured a 12-inch wall is what I figured that would be plenty. And you form your rebar up into that, you drill your hose through your post with your rebar in there, form the wall, and pour it. That's what I've been trying to get them all to.
If you rebar it through the post, and everything.
With a 4-foot wall. The loader bucket is 4 foot and something. A 4-foot wall will be plenty tall enough to keep that loader bucket from hitting on it. I come up with a couple of other ideas, but they were all expensive no matter what we did on it. But I think that'll be the easiest.
If you rebar it through the post, you think you just do a 9-inch wall?
You might be able to.
Only because you can open it with the post and.
Did you say you still want to pour a 4-foot wall, or just have a 1-foot lip?
4-foot wall.
Put a 4-foot wall between the posts. The whole wall is.
The whole wall is supposed to be covered. Post, you wouldn't see the post. Be a whole 4-foot wall coming from the inside of your secretaries are in there.
Yeah,
You run a rebar between those, and you run a piece of plywood in between that, leave the plywood in there. In between
Yeah,
that and that,
yeah.
leave it in there. Pour your concrete, and cover that post out, cover it stick wall, on each side of it, you're losing 2 foot out of your whole building.
And how much does it cost to do that?
I haven't got a price on it, because I haven't been able, every time I get send somebody up for the project, Todd comes.
We change the idea.
Todd, this.
That's why I said, let's just do that, let's just,
This bid here, the walls were what, $38,750, so
Yeah.
I
What was it?
definitely
Lots
think
cost
you gotta go with
$50,
a concrete wall. I've seen too many concrete block walls knocked down by forklifts and,
Well, it's not the same concrete wall you're used to seeing.
Yeah, these are 2 foot thick
oh,
blocks.
2 foot thick.
Yeah,
blocks.
2 foot,
Okay, yeah,
like
you
6
would be able to
foot.
knock
It
that
ain't
down.
a separate
Okay,
block.
I'm talking about, yeah.
They weigh 4,000 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah, they're a big block, but what, like I said, that's the one that I don't like about them, they're coarse, they don't hold, it's something they don't hold.
I didn't think about that bucket kitchen,
Yeah.
and quality ain't been making them as true.
No,
They're like-
they're not, I've played a lot of them, and I've never seen.
I like some last year, and I got a good batch, like some this year, you know, so, I think the
Well, at
walls
the end
would
of the
go.
day, if you knock a block out, you take 10 block out real quick and put it back.
Nothing happens real quick.
You know, when we, imagine this, when we bring the salt in, it's daytime, they dump it, we have to pile it in there tall. But when we load the trucks, would we not be loading them with the skid loader in a bigger bucket versus the big Komatsu
Be loaded with that big monster.
with salt?
Well, you got itty bitty beds, because we ain't got no dump trucks, so a skid loader would probably be
See?
efficient.
Yeah, but they're gonna be using big Komatsu, they're not gonna use the itty bitty skid loader, they're gonna use the big Komatsu.
Well, that bucket's probably bigger than their beds.
They'll be dumping half of it off on the ground.
That's what I'm saying, that's another problem with how big are them hoppers? What are they, like
9 feet.
They're 9 foot long,
Yeah.
and the bucket was about that.
about 9 foot?
But you can get one of those buckets like J.R. Crane has on his Kubota, you got one of them big old.
I mean, we'd have to have an 8 foot, but I got a pretty big one.
And they say, I don't know, I haven't asked them about that one, but I know we tried, when we bought that skid steer, they tried out a few of them, and so they wouldn't recharge to load the hoppers, right? I don't know if that one does or not, but,
Well, skid loader have to, they load tires with them trucks.
well, I would have thought so, but.
They load that
Mine will.
550.
Yeah, they'll, yeah.
Mine will.
259 with a load of trucks with them.
So I think we've determined,
And the good part about the reason I say the skid loader is, of course, not everybody can drive that Komatsu, but probably most of them can drive it. We probably have, we may not
I'd
have
say
a
you're saying,
dedicated guy.
I'd say you're saying that wrong.
Well, I didn't say operate, I said drive.
No, I'm telling you, you're still saying it wrong. But we got good guys up there, I'm just telling you what's gonna happen, and
Well,
I'll
I
tell
think
you how they're gonna load. They're gonna load that big Komatsu, because it's a bigger bucket, they're gonna move in, move out, they're not gonna want to turn and put 3 or 4 buckets up, they're gonna grab 1 scoop, maybe 2, fill a truck and leave, they're gonna use that big loader. What's gonna happen?
well, I think we've determined that the walls does the block, and I think we'll.
I'm not on that same page.
Okay.
I think so, I'm telling you.
I think if money is no object,
It is an object.
that's sort of what I thought.
It is an object, but, you know,
How many, so them blocks right now, Smyrna, I think are $50 a piece. Did you do the math, how many blocks we need? I didn't either. They're, what, 5 foot long?
6.
6 foot long.
And again, when we don't have to build a place
I could probably figure for.
big enough for 500 ton at a time.
Yeah.
Because we can order this as we need it now. I mean, you're not gonna order it when they got a foot of snow coming tomorrow. When we gotta order it in
I'll figure
advance
it
of that. But
Well, we don't-
we probably need a place for a couple hundred ton. Don't you agree,
Well,
Jack?
see, the second run up, you're gonna need 2 halves.
You need the whole 500 in your opinion?
Not figured it out yet.
We're getting there.
Hold on, I'm getting there.
I know nothing about building concrete wall. All I know is that
well,
pay the contractor to fix them after they get them knocked down.
that's,
Well, I think the whole thing is, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4,
5, 6,
5
7,
people
every
sitting
single
here that have, their own version of how this should be done, 6 counting Todd. I think one person should be the one to make the decision and do it and bring it back to court with a figure on what it costs. Everybody's saying, I'd like to do it this, yeah, I can give you a plan to do it, just like everybody else do it.
But see, what we have to do,
We can never agree on it.
but I agree, and it sounds like it's gonna be tough tonight, but we have to come up with what we're gonna do, and then we have to bid it in the paper. And then, I can't get an ad in next week's paper
Okay, so
That's
here's,
the earliest I can get is next week's
it's
paper.
gonna take 106 blocks.
You did the whole building 2 runs high?
I did 2 runs high down both sides and the back. And
How many,
there's four half blocks in there so you can offset the cracks. So, but there's 106 blocks total, the half block's the same price as the whole.
And of course, they got corner blocks too, they're a little additional. I've never seen one. but
I've never
I said they
seen
got
one.
them.
The grooves are different than, yeah,
Corner blocks.
ties the corners together better.
I ain't never seen them.
I've never seen one.
So what's that comes 50
$5,300.
For the blocks.
compared to 38,000?
Of course, then you got, it's gonna take, a little bit of time and fuel to haul all that, which that's.
Smyrna's 3 minutes away, I done talked to them.
Yeah.
They have us our blocks whenever.
Are they $50?
Yes.
Okay.
So 5,300, 38,000.
I mean, I think that for us to get what we need and get it quicker,
Who's laying?
We are.
us,
Why do we not?
we pour the concrete with some sort of lip, even if it's like the lip you had between the posts. And then the stack of blocks in there, and I think it'd be sufficient.
Who's gonna run the boom mower? Who's gonna be out pothole patching? Who's
I hope
gonna
they
be
ain't
out?
going right
Who's gonna
now.
be out cleaning culverts? Who's gonna be out?
Well, we're gonna do that right, like this week when it's raining.
I
We had the bid done.
like the wall idea, but, you made a good point, you talked about 38,750 versus 5,300.
Yeah,
I mean, essentially, by the time we pay out the labor,
You
the
can round it
fuel,
up to 10,000.
I mean, but that's a third of the price.
How long is it gonna take them to get it done?
What's that? The blocks?
Yeah. How long it take them to get, how long it take them to get dropping out of the road? How long it take them to get mowing done? How long
Well, I
it
ain't
take
doubting it, but we'll get the blocks will be laid in one day.
I hope.
Yeah.
I think that's a little far.
I can't wait
Well,
for one day, I do it all the time.
We lay them in one day.
I say 106 block with how everything moves around here, it might be done by spring.
I was gonna say a week, but.
I'll say spring.
I'm just saying,
Over the week.
I think me and Dave can probably do it in 3 or 4 days, it'd take them 5, 6 days with twice the amount of people.
Sounds like you and your dad need to donate some time.
So, I ain't got no time to do it.
Y'all need to have a little more faith. We get the,
I tried to say that with Fiscal Street.
but anyway,
So what if we did 8 inches of concrete on the floor, 5/8 rebar on 18-inch centers, and then do a 6 or 8 inch curve,
between the posts.
and then set all of our blocks?
I agree. If y'all agree with that, then that's what we'll bid.
What about the 8?
We'll put
Can
the,
do 8 for 2?
So do we need a 30 by 40 foot apron?
Yeah,
out front.
we will.
I mean, we're gonna load the trucks inside.
We ain't gonna be able to.
And,
Well, then y'all listen
Not
to
with
me.
that big boy.
Y'all listen to me.
It's about every wall down if you do that.
Well, that's a whole nother issue. When you load the trucks inside, then you have no need for, discharge permits. Because nothing's leaving the property.
So you're saying we have to load them inside?
Well, I'm just saying that's the best option. And of course, load them inside, I was always thinking the skid loader and not the Komatsu.
I'm just saying 38 feet, you got that big Komatsu and dump truck, or in 550s in there, it's not a lot of room to wiggle around. Just,
But I mean, it's some MPDES permits that are required for some. Now, Oldham County, I talked to a magistrate over there, he called his road guy. He said they didn't need a permit for a new one they built.
I'm telling you, if they was loaded with that Kubota, I'd be like, yeah, that's all they don't, they just stay on one side, they can just load them up, but.
Right.
You gotta have
Pull on one side, and I don't see that we'll ever have that building completely full of salt, even 500 tons. Especially with a 4 feet wall.
I mean, I know what Zach's saying, they're all going, let's get in the big loader, we got stuff to do.
Well, we advertise to say, policy is you use the skid steer, period. Do
That's
not
what you're gonna
go
have to
with
do.
the big boy.
If you're gonna load them inside.
Right.
Because I'm like Zach, if they get that big one there, you gotta load them inside, a wall's coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, to get the most in there, we gotta get the pile up middle. I mean, we may have to get some kind of conveyor or auger if Komatsu can't get it up high enough.
I mean, but even with that,
So-
even with that, I mean, you don't be able to load that hopper bed that.
Well,
that 550
I'm making a pile, and then with loading the 550, I mean, I think 3 scoops.
3 or 4, I
Four
mean,
scoops,
you don't
you
be
get
able to load it in like 4 minutes, be
scoop.
gone.
You get a deep scoop. So,
All right, so 8 inches of concrete, rebar, 5/8 rebar on 18-inch centers, a 6-inch stub wall in between posts. Do we want the pad out front or not?
I
Let's
think we
figure
should, because when the dump truck that's bringing the salt in, it's got.
Gotta have somewhere to dump it to push it
He's got
in.
rocks on his tires as he backs in the building, so you're gonna have rock in the building. You know, if you have a pad.
Well, you're not gonna be able to dump that whole truck out the building.
yeah, that whole dump trailer is up.
How tall is the building?
You can't dump a trailer. You can dump a triaxle, but you can't.
Well, you're talking about
They're gonna be coming in, they're gonna come in on the truck.
Well, they'll buy, they'll dump what they can dump, so they fertilize this way. Then they'll have to pull outside and dump the balance.
And then they put-
A little of it'll be out,
Are they
could
gonna
be
bring in
outside.
cement?
So you gotta have concrete out
Oh, yeah.
front.
Yeah, you got to, that sounds good.
We'll have to have some. I
All
mean,
right.
we'll figure it.
Well, let's put a, in, just make sure they price the apron in a different line item.
Yeah. And this will be what would be, I put in the
We're
paper.
gonna put it 8 inches thick too.
I don't know if this matters to Hill Beans, but I would, in my experience, I would recommend 10-foot square salt bed.
Oh, yeah, it'll be salt cut, for sure.
But of course, I don't know, do you want the salt getting down in the crack?
You gotta put the joint and then you.
But it's better than them little joints, you know, I like the salt that better than them little indentions they put in there, because it just cracks in the indention.
Well, if y'all are okay, I mean, we'll have to put this in the paper, and that's what people will be bidding on.
I had a posse of those joints.
Since it's over 40,000, that's what we got to do.
You don't
all
put
right
it,
with that?
you don't
Salt
put it in
may
there
not
till,
go all the way to the bottom of the concrete. Salt's gonna go in the concrete no matter what. You need to figure if you wanna seal that concrete.
I
I
think
wouldn't
that,
worry about sealing.
I mean, it'll get tore all to hell and the seal will never last.
It'll get tore all to hell, but,
Ain't no sense silver.
no, it'll get tore all to hell for sealer on it.
All right,
All right, well, there's.
so I'll put that bid in the paper.
we need to vote on it.
I think we just agreed that's what we
All right,
wanna do.
all right.
We're gonna put that ad in the paper, and then we'll get bids and we'll vote on them.
I don't think we need to, I mean.
The salt spreader quotes, y'all wanna look at them? Now, I'm gonna,
I
again,
wanna
I'm
talk
gonna,
about them.
you want to?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Or I can have Todd here next meeting,
Yeah.
discuss it.
Well, what he's wanting to do with this, I'll tell you what he's wanting to do with this. So he's got this one truck up there that's got a temporary flatbed on it. He's going to take one of these trucks. Now, I see both sides of it, and I feel for both sides of it. But he wants to take, that temporary bed off, and take this up there and have this mounted to that truck frame, out of bed and plumb. And I'm not, I see the urgency of wanting to have the truck going, because winter's coming, we have to have it. But then, he's talking like, you know, he wants to take the bed off come spring, put a flatbed on, and then, so I look at the money side of it, why are we doing this? We're gonna put a true flatbed on this truck, we're gonna put a flatbed on it, and then we'll figure out the other, we don't.
So how many salt toppers are we gonna have, not counting that one?
I think it's 6.
5 or 6?
I think it's.
Yeah.
Then we got two new,
That's what it says.
So do we need, we don't need it?
Got more salt hoppers, we got people.
no, we got 8, there's 8 guys.
Is there acres?
We good shape on trucks. We got plenty, we got lots of trucks.
I mean, but my thing is like, by the time, you know, you take out, you know, somebody staying back to the shop and loading everybody, and it's like, do you need another truck with a hopper on?
Well, it's brand new, and it ain't got a bed at all.
It's got a temporary flatbed on it.
I mean, I agree with Zach, we should put a bed, go ahead and get a bed put on it.
I don't like the idea of mounting a hopper to it, getting it plumb.
If you do
Running
that,
it all winter, if we do run it all winter, then going in the spring and yanking the bed back off and then buying a bed and then getting replumbed and set back up. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, you're doing part of
how
it
many
twice.
flatbeds do you got?
Just that, well, the one that you put on the mowing crew, I mean, everything else you got a dump bed.
I mean,
Other than this one has that wooden fake bed to get by.
well, I think it'd be kind of like, put everything in salt, because in, you know, I mean, if you had a couple flatbeds, that wouldn't be a bad thing, you know, that way you can kind of hit the ground running come spring, you know, have some trucks.
No, I wouldn't listen, they're gonna put a bed on it and then take it off and put a
No, they're
flatbed.
wanting to put a salt hopper, like a salt hopper mounted to the frame of this truck and run it this winter, and then in the spring, take it off, go buy it.
Go buy flatbed.
Could you put a metal flatbed on it permanently and then mount the salt?
I thought we agreed
And
that,
strap
Todd
it
said
down?
that we're gonna have to have a couple of cinder trucks still anyway.
And we got those.
Yeah.
So I'd say we stick with flatbed.
Yeah, but it's got a homemade wooden bed, so I mean, we.
No, I mean, I'm
we
saying
need to-
instead of, we just put a real flatbed on it.
Yeah, then,
And if they,
I
if
mean,
they
it'll
want,
be, the one bed will be under the 40,000, so I'll tell Todd to get us prices, what kind of bed y'all wanna put on it.
I just come call US trailer and,
Get a deal for it, yeah.
C&M
Just put
budget.
like a gooseneck bed on it,
Yeah,
like
Yeah,
gooseneck
what
bed.
I'm seeing him, what do they call them, North Stars on
they got
there?
North Star, C&M, and
C&M,
C&M.
still C&M too, yeah.
I don't know if you want, do they have gooseneck right now? If not, don't put a gooseneck bed on it.
Well, I was just saying the flatbed, but.
Well, I mean,
You know,
well, I think the biggest thing is like, you want side boxes on or not? You want a flatbed or you want side box? That's the main thing you gotta determine.
I'll tell him get some prices on a bed, but not a dump bed, right?
No,
Just a bolt-on bed. All right.
I would say probably sound probably be good.
I like side box, you put your.
We'll get an
They
a la
got
carte
the- they got
list.
they got the one truck already set up for all that, so.
But anyway,
And
I'll,
most of the time, it makes no sense to me, it's like when they was pulling the election voting machines around, they was pulling it around, they got that one flatbed up there, they got the F-250 up there, they got Todd truck up there, they was pulling.
I agree.
With the dump bed on it.
yeah, in the plow.
Yeah.
So are they gonna utilize this flatbed or is it gonna be a $10,000?
No, I told Todd, I said this.
The bed's gonna be 10 or
We
12,000.
every truck usable in case we need it when we're salting the roads.
I know, but I'm saying as a flatbed, it's gonna be used for flatbed reasons or.
Yeah, I mean, he originally wanted a dump, but I mean, we've got dump beds if you need to dump something.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll have.
I mean, it's just got a
flatbed
blue one on
there.
there, so you gotta put something on it.
It's got some jerry rig, something that they put cobbled together.
Right, but so we're gonna put something on it regardless. Right, it's a flatbed, dump bed, spreader, whatever.
I'll get bed bids, we'll talk about it next time. All right, is that all right with you, y'all? We don't have to bid it out.
You're starting to rush.
It'll be under, I'm looking up there.
You're not worried about the clock.
I don't know why you're worried about that one, it's wrong anyway.
Yeah.
Man,
It's a little slow, but it ain't bad. All right, we were on. All right, now we're in new business.
A little fast.
We've done the tourism, McKinley Creek. I think this is exciting. See what you guys think.
I read it.
If you, turn on to maybe nearly the last page, basically, I know Jason grew up, he was I remember when he was a baby. But anyhow, I remember him out helping us pull tobacco plants, and his mom would always yell at him and to keep his hat on, because his head would burn. But anyway, so he's a real good guy, and like I said, I knew his dad, his mom, they both passed away, good people. They live right there at the end of Delta Road originally. That's where Berman lived. But to get a creek, is that right?
Yeah, him and Danny are half brothers.
Huh. I knew that. But anyway, they've got a creek there, and it's in the documentation. But apparently, to get a creek name, you go through this process, and he's checked it out. Looks to me like, and basically, he needs us as an organization to support his requesting of getting this creek named McKinley Creek. So,
All right, do we make a motion to do that? I'll make a motion that we proceed with this.
I'll second it.
all right, yeah, basically what it is, we would be recommending to the U.S. Board of Geographic Names to support the proposal of Jason McKinley to name this creek. Is basically what the motion, that's what you said?
Yeah, that's what I said.
All right, we have a motion by Jim, seconded by Will. report, naming McKinley Creek, doing a recommendation letter to the U.S. Board of Geographic Names. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. That's easy. Next, surplus equipment, we've got a post driver, we've got to advertise it. The surplus, what else we got? Anything else?
As far as I know, I simply sent an email out. Nobody got back with me or anybody else, so that's been up there for a while. They've used it twice to drive some guardrail posts, and that's all they've ever used it for. Brand new, and get like $4,000 for it.
Big old shaver tenant.
Yeah, and you can't even legally use the drive guardrail post now because of whatever reason, but so it's just up there in the way. Gil's having an auction in the second. I thought about it, we used to get a surplus to get up there.
All right, I entertain a motion to surplus the post driver at David Jewell's auction. Motion by Mike. Second by Zach. To approve this surplus, and I'll have to get an ad in the paper next week. We have to advertise it. So, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Next on the agenda is a meeting room proposal of the equipment. I'll turn that to Zach.
Oh, yeah. Brittany's the one that's really been working on this a whole lot harder than I have, but, it's not just, it's just in here for you to look at, get an idea of what we're kind of looking at. We don't expect you to spend that kind of money. We're trying to get something a little bit cheaper. We want to update all this, to kind of get away from the DJ setup and get more to a conference room setup with actual speakers and actual good microphones, better camera system, just a whole lot better updated, more user-friendly system. But
What is this first built invested tech for 1,700?
that is the labor.
For what?
The 21,000 or whatever down here.
22,000. They're two different companies.
No, the same company.
You know?
Yeah.
One says JO.
One is JDA and the other one is Bullet Versa Technic, but the same company. One is the labor port and the other one is where they get their equipment from. That is the equipment cost.
You know, I looked at these, this is something that I know about.
So it's like down and dirty going over to Mike's stuff, but out there and buying pipe.
Yeah.
That's the price, that's the price of down and dirty to put the pipe in, and then the bottom one is the price of the pipe.
Oh.
Too damn high.
But, anyway, y'all focus on the money. Anyway.
What?
I guess it was focusing on the money. Anyway, no, it's so the microphone.
I was looking at this and obviously, we exhaust looking at other.
And we have been reaching out, we of course, like I said, once again, when I say we, I'm speaking a whole lot of French there, it's a whole lot of Britain, but,
Yeah.
She's been really one been working on this, and she's been reaching out to some people. This was just what she'd gotten back, and she kind of laughed at it and said that we wasn't going to go for it. I said, there ain't no way we're going to go for it, but I wanted to put it on here just so y'all could see what we're working on. We're working to get more quotes, try to figure it out.
Yeah.
She's put a lot of work into it. I know she's been over here, meeting with different ones, and these are the first prices I remember seeing. So.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if.
But that is updating everything, pretty much gutting all this out, taking all these cameras out, doing away with these microphones, putting the microphone in the ceiling.
It wouldn't surprise me for this to cost $10,000-$12,000.
Yeah.
But
that's kind of what I was.
I have some knowledge in this, was talking about, mixers and all that kind of microphones and stuff like that. And everything that they're pricing out, I was looking at that parts list, that's like the best stuff that money can buy in the world.
Yeah, top of the line.
The White House Situation Room
Yeah.
has this system.
Yeah.
It's,
like the Allen and Heath mixer, that's a Cadillac version.
oh, yeah.
Big time.
I mean, this stuff is it's so over the top. Some of this stuff is like.
That's what Brittany was saying.
It's like when Brad Paisley goes on tour, it's like the same mixer he has. It's like, we don't need it for
7 people in a room.
Well,
Make it sound as good as him, that'd be all right.
Right.
so, but this is a starting point. This is a starting point. So let's continue to work on it so we can, get the improvements we need in here. Is that fine, Zach?
Yeah, I thought I was just, it's just informational, I just wanted to put it in here so you were working on it.
I appreciate it.
The certificate of deposit, I wanted to put that on here. What I was thinking about doing, I want to tell you something else that we did today. Our bank accounts, where we keep money in the bank, you all know interest rates are a lot higher than they once were. I was considering asking you guys about taking $500,000, since we have $500,000 from ARPA that we were going to give to broadband if they ask for it. We could put $500,000 in a CD. We already got the two CDs here at People's Bank, $2 million. But we can put 500 in a CD, and they can earn 5% interest. If someone comes tomorrow that we would approve giving them the 500,000, I think we could say, we'll give it to you when the CD expires, and then we'll have that income. But I noticed our checking accounts, one of our checking accounts at German American Bank was earning 2.68 interest on a checking account. And that generates a pretty good amount of money. It was a road fund, and we had 1.4 million in that road fund right now. So it was generating a pretty good pile of money. So our account over here at People's Bank was earning quite a bit less, our checking account. So I called the bank president today and I said, we should have a better deal on our checking account. And anyway, he came back with, we're getting 2.8 something on our checking account now. We have 3.1 million in that account. So,
But you get up like 4 on a CD now, right after you take
yeah, but then you're tied up for 9 months. So now that we're getting this amount of money, that's almost $80-some hundred a month if we keep at 3.1 million balance, which that'll vary some. But anyway, so now our checking account, which didn't obligate nothing, but now our checking account is earning a good interest, where before it was earning 0.1 or something, like 0.1, not 1, 0.1. So it's earning interest now. So I don't know that we have the need to try to invest the money as bad. The CDs that we did early on, Doug, I think they've already generated 47,000 in interest.
Something like that. I was just looking to see last year, the road fund, our total interest for the whole year, Government American was $2,300 some.
I think now it's earning 30-some hundred a month at the 2.68. Of course, interest rates again have changed, but we've been trying to stay on top of it. I think we made the right decision when we put, we agreed, y'all give Doug and I authority to put some of it in the CD. And when we printed up this agenda, my thought was to try to put a little more in the CD. And then when I noticed that on the account there today, and we got what the interest is paying on the checking account, that's a good deal. So we can still put some money in another CD for 9 months. That's what German American is offering. It's like 5.1 for 9 months. If you wanted to put some in.
Liquid, Goldman Sachs has a savings account that pays over 4%, and the money's available.
I mean, is it FDIC insured?
Yes.
There was Dan and I at that training, there was a Boone County judge executive got up and talked about they invested in CashNet or CashVest. The fellow got up and talked and he said, we made them $4.3 million in interest. Of course, for them to make that much, and they did say it was 5% something, they got a pretty good budget.
Yeah.
Pretty good budget to generate that amount of money. But nonetheless, I got to thinking, well, they're just dealing with this fella and only getting 5% something. We can do that ourselves.
He never did say what their fee was.
Right, and not pay a fee. So, but anyhow, again, I welcome you all to come in at any time. Doug can share any figure with any of you all. And the investment that we did with the original $2 million, that was ARPA funds, that we got it tied up for, I think it was 9 months, wasn't it, Doug? Or was it a year?
I mean, do you really foresee that being a problem, if it's being tied up?
No, we got it pretty liquid. I mean, again, it's only tied up for a short period of
Well, you
time.
know what I'm saying, I mean, if you don't foresee having any problem with having that 500,000 tied up for 9 months, then.
How's it not a problem if they come in 2 months and say we need 500,000?
I was gonna see if we could get by with saying we'll give it to you in 9 months.
Well, I know that theory, but.
I know, it may
What's
not
the
work.
penalty on that? I mean, I know that,
On our, and we discussed that, it wasn't bad at all. It was it 3 months interest? It seemed like you lose 3 months interest.
Yeah.
so if it's been in there for 3 months, basically you just get your money back.
Correct.
You don't lose anything. If it's been in there for 4 months, you still get
1 month's interest.
Well, you know, you were talking about putting the 500,000 for the broadband in a CD. What about the rest of the encumbrances here? The ambulance that we voted to buy for 204,000.
Hey, I was
It's
just,
gonna take, what, a year and a half to get?
right, I was just using round figures.
Well, yeah, I'm with you, you know, other stuff that we know we ain't gonna spend for 9 months.
Yeah, you know, so.
Yeah, that's the theory, that's the theory.
I mean, you know, technically, nothing happens in that.
Extra liquid cash that you can make 5% and put it in.
Yep.
I mean, 3 months, if nothing happens in 90 days, I mean, nothing ventured, nothing gained, you know, that's kind of the way I look at it.
I said, y'all go for it. You just, do what you want to do, come back, let us know what to do.
I mean, some of these projects you're talking about doing, it's gonna be a little time before we get started. I mean, just like we haven't got any bids yet on the animal shelter or the pavilion, some of these things, but the type of monies are very long. You may start spending that money before, you know, say in a year, we may have the animal shelter built, we may be working on the pavilion or wherever you call it out there. I mean, the whole building
And
project.
I think you're gonna do it, man.
I really appreciate, I'm not picking on you, Doug, but I like his conservatism, I guess, about being conservative with our funds, not tying it up. But I mean, you know, it's really good.
But how,
It works good.
how many times you gonna be sitting there with that much cash on hand and have this opportunity?
Well, I asked that, and I mean, he said, before COVID, what COVID contributed, I mean, you said that we usually have $1 million is about all we ever have in the bank, and that was just a few years ago.
Of course, when I first started here, like in '89, our whole budget was less than $800,000 in general
Gold
run deal.
standard when you came on.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, we really didn't get, I mean, the COVID funds was good to our county. And that's why the previous court said, let's do something important, let's do something lasting. And I think we've been doing it. I'm satisfied that we have.
This is probably our last hoorah to make it count.
Well, our community's gonna grow and expand, and we're gonna reap benefits for the future.
I think it's a no-brainer to take money, especially like for the ambulance. We know we're not gonna spend it for another
And
year.
if we can make, like Bill
Not
said, we
invest
take
it.
anything and put it in an account and draw interest, it's no brainer.
Or if you leave those unencumbered funds, if you leave them alone, then you got some rainy day money, you might not have to touch it 500,000.
Which is what we're doing now.
And I think.
I'm sure them CDs ain't paying 5% now, are they?
Which,
The ones with the 2 million.
oh yeah, just
They all pay
about,
5%.
just about. When we got them in there, it wasn't 5 at that time, but we got, I mean,
It's 1.5
compounded,
for
the way it's compounded, it gets real close.
Yeah.
So,
All right, well, I think we've all said you guys do.
Yeah.
Use your brain stuff.
all right, we'll bring you a report back.
Well, technically, y'all still have to vote on it because I can't sign a check to take money if you go German American, say, because it's in the general fund.
Well, I'll make a motion that we, the court authorizes the judge and the treasurer to make the deposits or whatever in the CDs that they see fit and come back to the court and we'll vote on it then.
Second.
Well, no, we'll make the move and come back and tell you.
Okay, that's
Okay.
fine, yeah.
I'll
Well,
second.
hang on.
No, hang on there.
Hang on.
What's that?
Just say.
Well,
just say-
come up
just
with a
say
figure
$10
amount then.
for it.
I don't want it open-ended.
I'm not the one that,
I know.
I'm not the voting member. You said 500,000?
Put 704,000 into a CD, that'll be the broadband expansion and the ambulance. 704,000.
704,000.
704, can we just make it an even number, 700?
700.
I think the auditors will be happier with the number figure in the motion than they would be
Okay, then I'll.
being open-ended. I
I'll make a
appreciate what
motion
Jim's
that we,
saying, but
We put $700,000 into a CD.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Jim, seconded by Dan to, put 700,000 into a CD. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. We'll take care of that. And we're gonna go after that, the high rate. All right. Next, sanitation district appointment, this will be quick. Paul Daughter resigned. I need a motion to approve with Steve Kingsolver. He has agreed to serve. I was supposed to brought this up last meeting, but I missed it. And the sanitation committee approves this fella, so I'll just ask
I
you.
make a motion to appoint Steve Kingsolver.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Will, seconded by Mike, to approve Steve Kingsolver's appointment to the Spencer County Sanitation District Committee, and his term will be told him at swearing-in date. Because I'm not sure which term his is, Corey.
It'll be Paul's turn.
Same as Paul.
I think it's 3 years, wasn't it?
Which,
Can't remember.
whatever it is,
It's 1, 2, 3.
okay,
Yeah.
to the same term that Paul Daughter had. All right. So, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Now we have the financial bills. Now, I passed one out, Doug says replaces the old.
What do you?
Well, let's vote on this and then we'll do that. Is that all right?
Sure.
Um,
Oh, you're not talking about invoices, are you?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Don't we have an executive session?
we do. We do. But we'll be out here before midnight.
I don't
Wait
know.
on the item for 11.
We might. But anyway, again, this one replaces the one that was in here. What reason was that, Doug?
Yeah.
What did we change? I was looking through and,
I think that there was a few changes. I know there wasn't any extra bill sheet on the others either.
You're very close to getting off late.
well, I wanted to tell you all, when, you know, the ordeal with the Atlantic overcharging us. And then last time we discussed about that muffler. And so Katie and I went right back over there and I said, Katie, we need to put a few more details on these tickets. So that when we come to court, it doesn't just say muffler, $1,400. It'll say brakes, something else, something else, something else, something else. All right, so unbeknownst to me, Brittany chimed in after that, maybe 2 weeks after that, or a week after that. If you make it too, you gotta have the serial number of the car, and that makes the line too long. So instead of making it more information, we gotta put it back like it was to a degree. And that, I noticed some of these charges to daughters was broken down in small charges on what's in the book. And then there was, in here, it was bigger charges in this place. And I didn't add them up. But anyhow, I wanted to bring that to y'all's attention. I tried to make it where it was easier to understand, and then it created more difficulty. So we could have went back on that some. If you look on the page that I handed out, 2 of 7, down toward the bottom, you see, like, here's an oil filter, $188.82. Well, we know an oil filter didn't cost that much, or better not have. And then, but you see the serial number of the car, and then like the one below it, that would have been a different car. And then the one at the bottom is even another different car. And then in your book, I know it had some $15 figures and things.
That's $946 to replace a rotor?
Again, you know, here's this muffler, it was actually $1,524.67.
But it wasn't all muffled.
It wasn't all muffler.
Is the oil filter all filter?
It's more than an oil filter. It should have been an oil change, I'm sure. I don't know if I'm trying to help explain this any, but I'll have to tell you the same thing. Anytime you have a question with any charge, come and we'll explain it to you. So,
Why are we paying them to replace the battery?
I saw that wheel.
And we're all pretty, I think, someone capable, so what vehicle is that, don't know?
We got it over beside it.
These two.
Is it SO?
Sheriff's office.
Does it say SO on the serial number?
Yeah, I see the serial number, but I don't know the serial number of the vehicles.
Well, I mean, what's the,
It'd be a sheriff.
what page is it on?
207, last line.
207 on the handout.
We should change our own battery.
They'll change it for you, dollars on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Take
the
it all as on.
But again, that could have included more than just that.
That may have been, I mean, I think the last battery I bought was $100-something.
Yeah, I mean, this has to be abbreviated, and you guys obviously have the invoices, we can't have the whole damn invoice on here, so. Get it, but it'd be easy to overlook some
It's
stuff.
sheriff's office vehicle.
Yeah,
All the invoices are uploaded to the computer, correct, or wrong?
They're scanned in. I mean, I don't know that.
If you requested wanting to see the invoices, especially if they've been paid, I know they're scanned in.
Yeah.
They could probably send you all the invoices to where.
Right, I mean, they would be, I mean, it's,
I mean, I know
We're
there's,
scanning them in for the auditors and everything when they come to where we can.
I know there's I understand there's a reason why it's listed the way it's listed, but on the other side of the coin, you know, kind of hard to kind of make sure, everything's on the up and up.
Do we have a
Yes, that's why-
system or a PO sheet where we can say, let's look at this invoice number, type it in, that pulls it up? Or do we have like a paper copy of the PO?
yeah, I mean, if the invoice comes in, they get scanned.
And go where?
Yeah.
Just
They're
say,
in the file. Well,
on the
they're
computer?
scanned in over there. Come see us. If
If you're looking at it on the computer, you should be able to attach that and just drop it down and see the invoice for every bill that you wanted to look at.
Yeah, I just wondered how it's set up over it, 'cause I have no idea. But
Yeah, it's all, everything is scanned in, and that,
I think they normally scan them in after we pay the bill.
and we have to
And that way
scan
they just
them
have the check number on it and.
And
date
keep
of
the
sale and
invoice.
Everything.
for 10 or 15 years. And keep the paper invoice to back it up. So anyway, these are the bills and transfers. I know on the front page, Doug, you may want to explain, because that's a great big figure, that 483,630 transfer.
Very big figures, 750,000 in there would pay for that.
Technically, the transfer from the 483 is making the ARPA line item that we had the ARPA in and putting it back and moving it over to capital project.
To pay for the 750, wasn't it?
Well, just putting it in the capital project and taking it out of the ARPA line item. That, what's left in there now is what the purchase orders have been written for, like the ambulance, the broadband for 500,000, and I don't remember now what the other was, they had to do with some road equipment or
Pile and spreaders.
something that we
yeah,
rode
it
on.
went up again, didn't it?
Yeah, I always talk about the jail. Yeah, the jail's $46,580. Stay out of jail, please.
They did,
Blacktop some more roads.
did we just pay $153.90 3 times for grease? Tubes of grease? On page 2, second to last page.
It's like 65 tubes.
3 times?
Well, maybe they got 3 orders. It's three different invoice numbers.
I know that all our lubricants and stuff come from this Pro Chemical.
I don't know, Looks like
I
it
got
too.
1 case of grease. but-
200 tubes of grease.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be 200 too.
What's 65 plus 65 is 100.
Yeah, it's nearly,
130.
I see what you're
yeah,
saying.
I'll check it out.
That's 195 tubes.
Sorry, man. Get you down now.
Look, I was just sitting on like, that seems,
But
I
anyway.
know you gotta have grease, but come on.
These tires, you know, up there, I guess it's up there at the top where we've got the tires last time. $600 worth of grease. They always say something, eat up with grease.
I'd be fine if they used to.
You wouldn't use 200 tubes of grease a year.
I use more than that.
I'm saying they don't use 200 grease a year.
They use a lot of grease. They better be using a lot of grease, is what I'm saying.
One thing that was brought up about, I don't know how often we do an inventory, but they were talking about all these counties that inventoried their vehicles and equipment and found vehicles they were paying taxes on that didn't even exist anymore because they just hadn't done an inventory. And,
An inventory can be as in-depth or not as in-depth as it wants to be. I mean, I've got a sheet on my desk handwritten. Todd has every vehicle that we have. You know, we probably need more than that. And we need to do inventories elsewhere. You know, every department probably needs an inventory. I'm sure EMS has an inventory, lots of things.
well, these were mostly just vehicles and equipment because that's where your big high tax items are.
But anyway, I will, more write that down too. Not just the road department, but every department.
Yeah.
So that'll be something we need to look at. Yeah, here's that land purchase on page 6 or 7. Yeah,
I'll
we
make a motion to pay the bills and make the transfers.
Okay, I have a motion by Zach, second by Will, to pay the bills and make the transfers. Any discussion?
Are you saying we put that horse up?
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. You all have that ARPA sheet to look at if you have questions. Come see us after Thanksgiving, or now, I guess.
Are y'all working tomorrow, ain't you?
Yeah, or tomorrow.
What about Wednesday?
Yeah.
We're going to executive session.
Yes, need a motion to go in.
Could we talk about the pavilion just?
Yeah, go ahead, Jim. I'm sorry, Jim.
That's all right.
Thank you for your persistence.
Okay. Okay. I talked to Steve Emily, who's the engineer that did Wayne Squeezy's 25 acres next to the 5 acres there. He's got the plat already drawn out, and it looks good. And when I talked to Wayne Squeezy this past week about the 5 acres, and he said Wayne would have some, I don't know, not very good vibes if we did not get a site plan made on the 5 acres. That it may be detrimental to his 25 acres. If we go in there and just start hauling rock in, you know, the road department, blah, 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 without a site plan. So, which site plan includes sewer, water, drainage, landscape, sidewalks, blacktop, whatever. So, Steve only said he would be glad to do that for us, a site plan on the 5 acres, plus the road between the Beehive and Country Mark that we're gonna build, and the basin that needs work on it there, the drainage area. But to do that, I think we need to decide what kind of building we're gonna put on there, okay? Now, we talked about this, hashed it out for months and months, and we've got the sketches of 2 metal structure that, from Marco, that we looked at and talked about. We agreed on those, pretty much those 2 sizes. Now, where do we go? It's up to y'all.
Well, I brought this up to Dan, since I've looked at some other things. I know this is not gonna be positive when I say this, but the response, but I'd like to revisit the building design. And I don't mean that, I know that it's,
You take it, run with it.
I'd like to, just throw a couple things out there, I'll call it, we're on the committee about that.
Don't, I mean, I put in as much time as I'm gonna put in on it, so if somebody else, wants to get on the committee with Dan and Roger, that's fine, but, yeah.
And then this site plan thing,
I wonder what kind of expense is, do you have an idea what that costs?
35,000, 45,000,
For a site plan,
yeah. Should cost 5,000,
It
but
should,
it will be in order
yeah.
now.
I can find out from Stephen how much I called him, or he was gonna come tonight, I said, don't come until we make a decision, if we're gonna even do it or not, so.
Well, could you get a price?
I called him and asked him what he said.
I don't think we want to vote on it tonight specifically unless we get a price first.
So just wait till the next meeting, I'll get a price and break it down.
And
And we kick that can on down the road to.
Well, we can-
January, February, March, next year.
We could say spend
I think that's
not
all
more
we can say.
than, but then if it becomes more than that, then we'll still back to the next meeting.
Let me get a price from him, because from now in 2 weeks, he can give me a firm price. I'll do it
That
for
was a
this,
good question.
and I'll bring it back next week.
All right. All right. Now I entertain a motion to go in executive session as per KRS 61-810, letter F. Discussions about appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an employee. All right, is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion by Zach, second by Mike, to go in executive session as per KRS 61-810, letter F. Discussion or hearings might lead to employment, discipline, or dismissal of an employee. All those in favor say aye. Aye. We'll turn off the cameras and the microphones. And Lynn, thank you for staying nearly 4 hours. We covered a lot of business.
Did our vendor get turned off the roof?
I would say probably not.